Hello, it is Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. The month of September flew by.
See ya.
Gone.
I love a good sound effect noise. That guy that does all the sound effects, I don't think he's appreciated enough in Hollywood.
Michael Winslow?
That guy that can make all the sounds, he does all of them. That guy is not appreciated enough. But hello, October. Hello, Halloween month. Hello, balls deep in the NFL season. So excited to chit-chat about the Sunday and Monday. This weekend's games were incredible. Absolutely loved everything I seen. We had a player flipping off his own team. That is magical. We had a mighty situation last night on Monday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes, this dude might be the next one.
He's Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers mixed together.
With a bigger body who's like Roethlisberger-like, almost. You put Roethlisberger with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre together.
And a Muppet.
That's what... And his voice is tough. But then you have his dad. I didn't know he was in the majors for like 10 years or something like that as a pitcher until last night. You got a dad. You got the lineal there, the generational strength. And also, having a father who's a professional athlete teaches you a lot of things about how to handle a lot of situations that a lot of guys can't do. I had no idea what I was getting into whenever I became a professional athlete. No clue what happens whenever you get dumped a few $100,000 in your bank account, and then you're supposed to just act like you've been there before. I haven't. So I'm going to go ahead and spend it all. It's a different animal whenever you have a dad who's been a professional athlete and kind of teach you the way about maybe on the road, these types of things. Patrick Mahomes seems like he's the one because he struggled a little bit early last night. And everybody was like, well, this Denver Broncos stadium is tough to play in, blah, blah, blah. And people forget the reason why Patrick Mahomes possibly has the job that he has and the reason why Alex Smith was shipped out of Kansas City. By the way, Kansas City is both in Missouri and Kansas. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I thought there was one in Missouri, one in Kansas. They're actually the same city.
Oh, that's what I thought, too.
I didn't know. I thought what you thought.
Yeah, me too.
What is it, right on the border?
Yeah, it's right on the border.
Well, that's some bullshit.
So the right half of the city is in Missouri. The left half of the city is in Kansas. I wonder if
that had to be quite a conversation.
No, that's our fucking city.
Just make the line go around.
Yeah, Mr. Kansas. Mr. Kansas was like, no, that's our fucking city. Mr. Missouri is like, we're here first, motherfucker. We settled a lot earlier than you did. That's our city. No. You know what? We'll just split it. I wonder if the taxes are the same on both sides there.
That's a great question. It can't be, right? Because it's state tax. It's state tax.
Yeah, but I would assume that they have very similar laws there in that area.
Have to.
Like the casinos. If you go to the east side of the city over there, they got table games. Over here, just slots. You know what I mean?
It's like old East and West Berlin.
Yeah. They have to put a wall up. One legalizes marijuana, one doesn't. Everybody's going to move.
It's gonna be tough.
Oh, my God. It's just going to become like, this is the red side of the city. This is the blue side of the city. Over here on the left, we got no guns, okay? Incredible taxes and free marijuana. On this side, though, low taxes, all the guns you can get, no marijuana. You figure out which side you want to be on. That would be an interesting
How do you think the football players get taxed, too?
So that's what I was saying. Because in my head, I was thinking they have to.
Where the stadium is?
Well, I assume the stadium's, I don't know where Arrowhead is. Now that I think about it, I have no fucking idea. And I don't know where their practice facility is. What if their practice facility is in Kansas, in the stadium's in Missouri? Where do you live? I don't know where you live. Last night was, Sam and I were watching that game, and I Googled it because she was confused too. And I was, she was like, you played in Kansas City. Where were you? Right? She said, was that in Kansas or Missouri? And I was like, I think it was in Missouri.
Yep. Your Arrowhead is in Missouri. Yep.
Okay. I feel good about that because I got some barbecue. And it was in Missouri, I think, whenever I got the barbecue. But then you're like, well, Kansas City, it's in Kansas, too, I feel like there was a Kansas around. And then you find out, bang, right on both. It's
practice facility, also Missouri.
Oh, so so Kansas really lost out on this whole thing. Should have sort of settled a little bit earlier over there in Missouri. But I think Patrick Mahomes, the reason why he is the guy he is, and the reason why he is the Chiefs quarterback now, is because last year, if you do recall, the Chiefs were already in the playoffs. They were playing the Denver Broncos, and they decided to rest Alex Smith. So they rest Alex Smith. Go ahead. Hey, you know what? Great work this year. Great, incredible work. We're going to save you for the playoffs. We're already in. We don't want you to get hurt here in Denver. Mile high, who knows what's going to happen. Don't need any of that marijuana getting into those lungs before we get into the playoffs while you're playing. So they have Patrick Mahomes play that week. 1 week to prepare, 1 week to be an NFL quarterback, because I guess the way Andy Reid runs his practices, the backup quarterback doesn't get a lot of reps. I guess it's just a starter. By the way, A lot of people handle operations that way. When Peyton Manning was the quarterback, the backup never got a rep, not a single one. They were just there to applaud basically and say, "Yeah, good work, good throw." And they even had a practice guy running the defensive rep. So it was a very interesting thing. Patrick Mahomes wins that game in Denver last year. Alex Smith back in. They lose in the playoffs. Andy Reid sitting there in the offseason. Probably on a beach somewhere. Probably got a donut or two, maybe a pizza, maybe some barbecue ribs there from Missouri or Kansas, having a good time. Maybe a nice cold beer. I assume it's an IPA. He looks like a guy that might drink IPA. Or it's a hard Budweiser, maybe a diesel. Andy Reid's sitting there with a diesel. He's drinking it down. He goes, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get rid of the boring-ass Alex Smith. I want Patrick Mahomes, who had 1 week to beat Denver, did it, and now he's the quarterback. So everybody's talking about going in Denver and wins could be tough. Motherfucker already did it when he was a backup last year, and last night what he did was magical. Absolutely magical.
Yeah, to see how he handled, like, that was his first real test of adversity, right? Like, the pass rush was fucking good. And he came back. And
they flipped the switch in the fourth quarter. They were like, okay, now you're down 10 on the road. Can you do it?
Yeah.
And he went out there and did it.
This is like the LA Rams. I said the LA Rams are a team, whenever you have all those big studs, whenever they decide to flip the switch, they can flip the switch. They got it in the back pocket. You know, they got, whenever we need this, let's pull it out and do it. It seems as if the Chiefs might be the same way. And Patrick Mahomes doesn't seem to get rattled. Those big situations doesn't seem to get rattled. He seems to be a killer too, which is what you need. You need your guy that's willing to go out there and step on a throat and keep it moving. I like Patrick Mahomes.
Did you see him pregame too?
No.
Casually throwing like 80-plus yards. Like,
Yeah, he was just launching missiles.
bombs.
He's got a hose, bro. And you know
Basically
what?
like the Mike Vick commercial.
With that fucking
Nerf, yeah.
that thing that whistled out of the
Or
goddamn.
no, he actually did it with
it was
the
a
commercial was the real football.
It was a Powerade
Powerade,
commercial,
yeah.
that he did it.
What was that whistling for?
The Nerf Vortex.
yeah.
Oh my God!
The amount of Nerf vortexes that are on the roof of our our elementary school.
It's absurd because everybody's trying to go over the school with it, and you could just hear it, and all of a sudden you hear, so they lost another vortex.
Great ball to throw. Terrible catch.
Catch. Oh my God!
You gotta catch it by the tail.
Yeah, and if you're early, that thing's hurting.
Oh, yeah.
That thing hurts like a brand new ball. But Mahomes has a cannon. He's got it all. I really like him a lot. And it's what I've been saying this whole time. Best bet in the entire universe right now. The best. We are still in Andy Reid season. We got like a week or two left before things are going to get a little rocky. So while we're in this, let's enjoy it. You take the Chiefs money line. It might look scary.
It wasn't even bad last night. It was like minus 170, 180.
Not bad. Not bad. The week before it was 280, minus 280. So you're definitely risking a lot here. But go ahead and go for it when you go to mybookie.ag, the greatest gambling website in the entire earth. You use promo code PAT, get 100% bonus on your first deposit. You hammer time. And I can't, you take a Thor hammer, much bigger hammer than the Colts gave me to hit that anvil in that incredible gif of me hammering me over. Much bigger. You hammer the Chiefs money line, and you just go ahead and ride the wave. Last night, I was sweating a little bit. I did max bet on the Chiefs money line, and I was just watching. I'm like, oh, they're coming down to earth. That sucks. Andy Reid season's over already. That's some of my favorite season. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Travis Kelce's getting double. He's dropping balls. Nothing's happening. He's a part of the cheat code. New shirts out now. Go ahead and get them, PatMcAfeeShow.com. And then Tyreek Hill still making plays. They're getting him the ball in all these different ways. And then you start seeing them start cooking. And you're like, yep, I knew my bet was good, which it is. Chiefs money line. Promo code PAT, mybookie.ag. We're in the MyBookie studio. Big thanks to them. This Thursday, I believe we're doing something with hockey for Beat Pat McAfee at 11:50. I'm not sure exactly what it is yet, but it's something with hockey. What's up, Dixie?
What's nice with the Chiefs, too, like early the passing game wasn't on, and then just Kareem Hunt decided he was going to have himself in there.
He lowered his head and tried to run a guy over, by the way. That should have been a penalty.
Now,
Technically.
hey, let's just let it go.
They don't call that anymore.
Hey, man, let's just not address that.
You saw all of defensive NFL last night, though, go like, oh. Clay Matthews hugs a guy, gets a penalty.
I know.
Kareem Hunt tries to steamroll a guy with the top of his helmet and nothing. He gets
I was so mad at
applauded, by the way. The NFL was like tweeting it out like, truck stick. It's like, that seems to be illegal if I was to guess. I love that game, though. What a good game.
Yeah, it was great.
Von Miller, though.
I had to stay up to the very end because I had I had Broncos plus 4.5, so we both won.
Well, some
What
guy,
a world we live
I
in.
was from the Action Network or whatever, he took Chiefs minus 3.5.
Okay.
No, he took Broncos. He won on both sides somehow.
Yeah.
I watched him win both bets somehow, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever. I'm like, that guy's bankrupt.
Because early in the week, or like the other day I got Broncos at plus 4.5, but right before the game started, they were plus 3.5. So if you got them there, you lost. So he probably had the Broncos at 4.5 and the Chiefs at minus 3.5.
That's exactly what he had. He had the Broncos plus 4.5, Chiefs minus 3.5.
Landed right on the number.
And it was Green Dot City, and I'm like, bro, how do you win? But my bookie's just looking at the TV like, this motherfucker.
Yep. And I got Chiefs minus 4 and just pushed.
Attaboy.
Like the most least fulfilling thing that could have happened at the end of that game.
You did on Thursday night, too.
Oh, yeah.
Old Bland.
King of pushing. It always evens out for me.
How do they get so accurate, though?
It's nuts to think about it.
It is
every single time.
absolutely crazy to think about how good they are. And the over-unders are always within a fucking point. I don't understand it. Not a single clue. I don't understand it at all. How do you do it? I don't know how they do it. They got to be cheating. Speaking of cheating, the NFL fucked over the Browns. I was watching that game. Dog Pound does not deserve what they got right there. That was a first down. Yeah. And that's a big situation whenever you're running the clock out on the road. Timeouts have to be used. First down. Let's go ahead and get another win for Baker Mayfield. Undefeated Mayfield. Browns probably undefeated all year if they got a kicker in Baker Mayfield playing. And instead, Walt motherfucking Anderson. I hate him. I think he's the worst ref in the NFL. I've said it for a long time.
How about that roughing the passer call in the early in the game?
On the
Didn't
Raiders
see
or
that.
on the Browns?
On the Raiders.
Didn't see that.
There was a bad one on the Raiders.
I didn't switch over to that game until the end there.
Yeah.
And just watching that call get overturned after going to the booth, after going for the review, somebody in his ear, and it's hard for the Cleveland fans not to say, hey, somebody called down there and said, hey, nope, let's take this to overtime. It's Jon Gruden. We can't have him go to 0-4. You got it, like the NBA walking out. We decided fourth down. No explanation, by the way. No explanation. And they probably told him in the ear, you're in Oakland, too. Nobody's going to care. You're going to be a hero here. Just go ahead and walk out there. Nobody will even notice. TV won't even notice. The internet won't notice. Don't even worry about it. Just go ahead. Walt, just go deliver the message, will you? Yeah, you got it. I'm the worst fucking ref in the history of the goddamn league. I'll go do that for sure. Bang. Fourth down. Got a punt. Raiders come stumbling, bumbling, fumbling back. It was absurd. The Dog Pound did not deserve it.
I am 50-50 on the first down call. Do I think it was a first down? I don't know, but I don't. It was way too close to overturn it.
That's not 50-50 then. That's 100% what you just said.
Nah, not in my world. But
yes.
So I don't think they got fucked there. They for sure.
You don't. You just said that they got fucked. You literally just said. You said you can't overturn that.
Nah, Cleveland deserves it. But they for sure got fucked when Derek Carr fumbled, I don't know, a drive earlier. It was a drive or two earlier. They sacked him, and the ball was clearly out. Literally, as soon as they sacked him, but they called him in the grasp, and there was no grasp at all. It was so bad.
They would have scored. They scooped
Cleveland would have scored, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Browns do not deserve that. I mean, Hugh Jackson, what a character he is, but the Browns do not deserve what happened to them. I did not enjoy that. Jon Gruden, though, by the way, congrats on getting your first win. There's definitely asterisks all over the place. After the game, Jon Gruden has his entire team take a knee. After the game. I don't know if you saw that.
We used to do that in high school.
That's what I'm saying. It was very interesting. You got these old men, though, that just ran for 3 hours. You're like, take a knee. You're like, motherfucker, I'm going to have to get back up after this. He had everybody take a knee after the game. I've never seen that in the NFL. I'm going to be honest when I say I've never seen it. Maybe before the game, take a knee or something like that to pray, or maybe you take a knee to pray afterwards or something like that. But the take a knee so he can give a speech thing was wild to me. That was the first thing I noticed whenever he was giving his speech. He was doing the what did Jon Gruden say? He said something. I'll tell you, we'll remember this forever. What is he back there? Is Coach Gruden back there?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Can you ask him why he had everybody take a knee afterwards? Hey, Coach Gruden, how's it going, boss?
I'm doing great, Pat. How you doing, man?
Hey, congrats on your first win. There's a lot of asterisks, almost like Walt Anderson and you were in cahoots a little bit. We won't talk about that. Congrats on your first win. You got a game ball, by the way. That's awesome. First time getting a game ball in a long time. You had your entire team take a knee, coaches included, by the way.
Yep.
After the game, you had everybody on a knee around you. Is there a reason for that?
Well, I told them, we're just trying to get on the same page. My big message was, hey, man, look what we just did. Can you imagine what we would do if we had a pass rusher? I've been saying it for a while. They're not easy to come by. If we had a pass rusher down here in Oakland, we'd be 4-0, man.
A lot of people would say that's kind of like a power hungry move to have everybody on a knee looking up at you? Is that what happened? Or
Well, I just, big win. I like to remind these guys who the big swinging dick around here is. I don't need anyone's head getting too big. You know what happened last time that happened? We had to fucking ship the guy off to the midway. So, I'm just trying to remind everyone who's the big swinging dick around here. They know.
I can respect that a lot. Do you ever think about like I saw a coach with all white hair, it might have been 70, taking a knee. Do you ever think about him having to get back up after that, or that doesn't matter?
Nah, not really. If he can't be gritty and get up off his ass, I don't want him around here. So
That was the first thing I noticed, though. Thanks, Coach.
How hard is it to kick off dirt?
Yeah, I noticed that kid was really struggling there.
It's a few weeks in a row, too. Like, it happened when the Rams played their week 1.
I think the big thing is you're scared you're just going to slip. So it's like you're coming in a little bit lighter. So that's the issue with terrible fields. It's not so much that it fucks with the ball. It's just your thought is that you're going to slip or your plant foot's going to be fucked. It's like when I kick in my backyard. There in my field there. Mm-hmm. There's always these goddamn lumps everywhere. And I'm like, I'm going to plant and roll my fucking ankle here. I just know it's going to happen. But I've got to the point where I'm retired. So if I roll my ankle, I don't give a fuck. So I just go ahead and go for it. But back when I was playing, I had an entire area that I had to like flatten out. I even got one of them like heavy roller things. Mm-hmm. I rented one of them heavy roller things so I didn't roll. The plant foot, having the thought that your plant foot could give is something that maybe is a little paralysis by analysis. That McCrane kid, very interesting kicker though. He told Jon Gruden right to his face, I can make this kick. Literally right to his face. Gruden looks at him and goes, can you make this? And he goes, yep. And he jogs on the field, misses it. Then you got to jog right back to that sideline. And that is the situation that you do not want to be a part of. I thought he should take his shit and jog right out of the stadium. I said that it was overtime. It was a 50-yarder off the dirt. I said, just take your shit and leave the stadium. He goes back, ends up hitting a game winner. Good for him. Congrats to him. But yeah, it's more in your head, I think, that you're going to slip, which, by the way, could be true too. I have no idea.
But like as a kicker from 50, you can't say no though, right? When a coach
can never say no.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say no ever. But it's normally comes through your special teams coach.
Yeah.
To you, not from the head coach to you. So when Gruden turns, hey man, what did he say to him?
Hey, man, can you make this fucking kick or what?
And then McCrane goes, yeah, coach, absolutely. What did Gruden, do you think, say back to him?
Get out there and fucking make it then.
So he misses. In his head, they show Gruden with a scowl. His first thought had to be like, this fucking kicker. I hate him. I knew I shouldn't have sent his ass out there.
So you had a similar situation a few years back. You had a really long one. They sent you out to kick.
Yeah.
What was that
65-yarder. It was in preseason, though, so it didn't really fucking matter. We had a backup kicker in camp. Mm-hmm. So I had not even kicked a field goal yet in camp at all with a snap and a hold because they were just like, let's not waste any reps. So I go, Chuck looks at me, and he goes, you want to kick this? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'd like to kick this. And then as I'm jogging on the field, I'm thinking, I have not kicked yet.
Who's holding for you?
Griff Whalen. I have not kicked yet this entire training. Griff Whalen, worst center in the history of the game. Everybody's seen the play. That was not supposed to get snapped. Griff Whalen, worst center in the history. But he was our go-to guy for everything. He was my holder. He was everything like that. Or it might have been Chandler Harnish. It was either Chandler Harnish or Griff Whalen, depending on who was in there. And I jog on the field. And literally as I'm jogging on, I'm like, I have not kicked a field goal yet this year. Maybe not in 6 months. And I'm like, who knows how this is going to go? And I aimed down the middle. And I ended up pulling it left, just like what the kid did. And it was close, by the way. I thought it was going. I was doing like the look-see, like, oh, shit. And then I missed. I was very upset, obviously. I go in, and Chuck comes up, good swing at it. But I'm like, well, maybe some fucking practice. I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't say that to him. I was like, yeah, sorry I missed it. It was a preseason game. Didn't matter. But it's one of those situations where you go out there for the long ones. And you're kicking the short ones as if they're the long ones. Mm-hmm. Nobody really changes their reps. I mean, Janikowski might because he just kind of guesses his steps. So he's had a hell of a career.
He drilled a 55-yard this weekend.
Yeah, 52-yard game winner right there. That was awesome. But it's one of those things where every kick's supposed to be the same. But when you get further, it's hard not to kind of want to hit it a little bit harder, And that's the difference between the good and the great, though. That is really the difference between good and great. And that's why I was not a great field goal kicker. I was a good one, but not a great one. That's the difference, though.
Speaking of great.
Vinatieri, congratulations, man. That's awesome. What a fucking underwhelming game for it to happen in, but a last-second loss in overtime with another. That Fairbairn kid missed by a lot. The timeout.
I was the one where they iced him.
Yeah, he
was
missed
a big shake.
Yeah, it was a Vanderjack-esque miss,
Yeah.
almost off to the sideline there. Kid gets another shot, he makes it. But that day was dominated by one man and one man only. It's Adam Vinatieri becoming the all-time leader in field goals made in the NFL history. So cool. So that's a record that'll never be touched. Never, ever be. That'll never be broken. There will never be another kicker like Vinatieri, especially in the world that we live in now with social media and Twitter, because when you're kicking, it's all in between the ears. Everything's in between the ears, and now everybody can chirp you at all times. And your head is there's a rattle factor that's at a level that it's never been seen before, ever. And I don't think you'll ever see a guy like Vinatieri, mostly because there's so much money outside of football to go get that you don't want to have to kick for 23.
Yeah.
This is 23-year piece of work, by the way. This is a slow game here. This is not an overnight success story. This is 23-year Bob Ross painting to get to the top of the mountain. And Justin Tucker is an absolutely elite kicker. That guy with 4 field goals in the second half to send the Steelers home with another L in Pittsburgh, down there near the Three Rivers in Heinz Field. Eric Weddle wanted to be a Steeler, but instead he's on the podium post-game celebrating, beating the fuck out of the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
He got toasted. He sucks anyways.
Oh, yeah, of course he does. Of course he sucks.
If it's under 50 and Tucker's out the kick, it's automatic. Like, I just know a commercial break's already coming. I assume that's part of the commercial break because I know it's going in. I just get up and go to the kitchen anyway.
Tucker's unbelievable, but kicking is all about consistency. That is 100% what it is. And Tucker's the most consistent kicker probably ever. Most consistent kicker ever, you could say. I mean, Dan Bailey had a run there with the Cowboys where he never missed either. Vanderjack, I think, for a long time had a run where he never missed. Justin Tucker, it just seems as if he's never going to miss because he hits the ball so pure. But to do it for 23 years, it is just a different animal. Like, Tucker will have to do it for another 17 years to catch up to Adam Vinatieri. 17 years. Think about it. If it's Tucker's 6th year, it might be his 5th. I'm not even sure. It might be his 5th year. I don't even know if it's his 6th year. So he would have to do it for another 17 years to even get close to that record. It's just, and Vinatieri is with teams that scored a lot. Patriots scored a lot. Colts scored a lot. Kicked field goals a lot. Tucker, he's with the Ravens. They're not always. Those are some defensive battles, and he's in the AFC North, which is a terrible area. Vinatieri, though, AFC East. Let's not get crazy. He was in some bad shit too for a while. But just to think, how many years has Tucker been?
I
in?
think it's the 7th.
7th year. So for another 16
Undrafted.
16 years, Vinatieri as well. 16 years he would have to do it to catch up to Vinatieri. And that's why even Justin Tucker would say, that guy's the fucking man. Matt Bryan as well. Hell of a career. Jason Hanson with the Lions. Hell of a career, because whenever you can stack up that amount of years of not getting the yips and not getting in your own head and shit like that, it's another level. But Tucker is a phenom to watch. Congrats to Vinatieri. He's going to get the all-time points record here in a couple weeks. That's going to be awesome to watch as well. Very happy for him. I hope he just takes his cleats off, tells everybody, suck it. Bang, see you later. This team's going to win one game this year. I did not mind the go-for-it call in overtime. It's just like any fake punt or fake kick. If you make it, you're a genius. Vrabel did it in overtime for the Titans. They had a 50-yard field goal with Suckup, which might as well be a lock, by the way. Suckup is very, very, very accurate. Might as well have been a lock. He thinks about it, puts his team back on the field, goes for it. They end up scoring a touchdown, beating the world champions Eagles in overtime. If it works, it works. If Vrabel doesn't get that there, he is going to be second guessed forever for not letting Suckup hit that 50-yarder. Because all they got to do is bounce down the field. Jake Elliott hits the game winner. Eagles steal a win in Nashville. But instead, it works out. Vrabel's team wins the game. That Titans team looks tight, by the way. That camaraderie level is very high. It looks like they like Vrabel. Good teams are teams that like each other, and those Titans like each other. But whenever you fail in an attempt like that, the world comes down on you. And all the players said they loved it because it's a coach believing in them. But, man, that's a tough way to lose a game. That's a tough way to lose a game.
The only difference between the Vrabel and the Frank Reich was there was a lot of time left for Vrabel's. Going for it on your own 40, and there was only 25 seconds left, and they had no timeouts, and so they had to get like 25 yards to get Vinny in range. It would have been tough, even if they did make the first down, to even get into field goal range with that little time left, for even them to give a chance to win. That was my only problem with it.
I guess the risk reward is what you're saying?
Correct, yes.
The risk assessment of life is what you're saying? Yeah, because they had to move a little bit to get into Vinny's range. Yeah, but it's still like you're just going.
We were looking. We can't find a video of it anywhere. Was it an out? Like, wasn't it an out to the sideline? Like, if he gets out of bounds.
Every time I Google search Colts 4th down play, the fucking snap against the Patriots comes up.
Griff Whalen, bad center. I think we will always talk about
But
that.
no, because I think it was thrown like to the numbers. Like
No, it was outside the numbers because it was short.
Yeah, I know
it
it was
might have
short.
been an out, but Luck throwing that short, by the way, is a whole nother animal, right?
he did
I
throw
mean,
it 50 yards. He did throw a Hail Mary that game.
he did throw a Hail Mary. I don't know the big difference between the 49 and the
Yeah, I know.
45. Everybody can say that they don't listen to things that are being said outside the building, but it sure felt as if there was a different situation there. But that ended up short. It's always if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you're an idiot. It's just one or the other. I mean, it's a game too, a roll of the dice. But as soon as they missed it, as soon as they didn't get that first down, everybody on earth knew that was over. I actually tweeted out, "Oh no!" As soon as the ball was incomplete, I tweeted out, "Oh no!"
I mean,
But didn't the Eagles last year make their living on going
I mean,
for it on 4th down?
All
And that's where he
the
came
great
from,
teams,
so.
like
Well,
they
it's like
know
the
that
Titans, too.
there's a better chance. Like 4th and 4, there's a million chances there's going to be defense holding, defense pass interference.
Right.
You can get 4 yards in this league in this day. Like 4 yards is basically
And think about the refs too. The refs know that's a big moment, so
Correct.
maybe they're a little excited as well. You could steal a call out of that. You're 100% right. You don't think about that. I like the way the Titans look, by the way.
yeah.
Biggest surprise of
Their
the year.
defense is
They're a bad team, I think. I think they're a bad, I don't mean bad team. I mean, you put them on paper, you wouldn't say, man, this team is fucking loaded, especially with Delaney Walker out, I think. Delaney,
he's very good.
he was stabbing a sword in the middle of the field, and I was like, oh, shit, he's out, and they're still doing this? That team is together, though. They're it's like the Eagles team last year. Very together team. They like each other a lot. I said it a million times, and I'll say it again. When I saw that Meek Mill team meeting where everybody was dancing to Meek Mill together as a team, that means more than anything in the game of football. Anything. Because it's not you're playing for yourself. You're literally playing for everybody. For the boys is what they're saying, by the way. They just hijacked that. Just hijacked that. But they are playing for each other. And it seems Vrabel, his first-time head coach, he's a young guy. He's earned the respect of that locker room, and it's almost like they're in it together. And I think he's a hard ass, too. So I think it's like a win-win situation there. Taylor Lewan's been a hell of a leader in there.
Mariota can make a play at any time.
I like that team a lot. And by the way, would have never guessed it. I would have never got Brett Kern, their punter, most underrated punter in the history of the NFL. I even fucked him over this past weekend for the brand because I changed the channel and he puts one out at the 3. I'm like, I start getting tweets. The Titans actually tweeted me. They're like, yo, did you not fucking see this? I'm like, I only got 6 TVs. What do you? There's 8 games going on. I got 6 TVs. Get off my dick. I don't know what to do.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I did pick them to win the division on quick hits.
Did you?
On the Titans, yeah.
You had a little 6-0 last week
I
too.
did. It was a big week for me.
I've been bad gambling. Things have been going bad.
Titans got the Bills next week.
Yeah, and
What's
it's a
that gonna
weird
be?
line. I just saw it. Me and Boston Connor, were talking about it yesterday. It's a weird line. The Titans are only -3 at the Bills. It's a scary one. That's the one where I'll probably stay away from.
I won't. I'm jumping all in.
Yep, you'll go all over the Titans.
I'm going all over the Titans.
And they'll win like 26-24 for some reason.
The biggest issue with me with the Bills is Josh Allen's so inconsistent right now.
He played so bad.
So bad. So bad.
bad.
He was rolling right and thought he could make a 60-yard pass back left. Like, I respect the confidence in your arm, but that's just a terrible decision in NFL. But that's him being a rookie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is exactly what they're banking on. You're living and dying with him, from leaping over Anthony Barr one week to across your body 60-yard toss into an interception in the red zone. And then that's a very interesting situation. So what if he shows up and balls out up there in Buffalo? You never know. But I am here. There's my early lock. Go ahead and get it now while the line is still at what it is. Go ahead. Go to mybookie.ag, use promo code PACK, get 100% bonus on your first deposit, and put it all on the Titans.
That's like the line this weekend when it was Seattle -3 or Seattle -4 at Arizona. It was one of those weird ones. Like, you think they should blow out the Cardinals, but they didn't.
Well, everybody's saying that about Detroit, Dallas, too. That was a good bet
We
for
snuck
us.
in there. Hey, we snuck in there.
I
Too.
like that. I like that a lot. I
I
like
took the money line.
You just easy, take all the stress out of it, just money line.
Yeah. I lost everything this weekend.
Did you?
I stink. It's so hard.
It is hard.
It is so hard.
Especially it seems like this season. Maybe we say that every year, but it's just you just never know. The parody is unreal.
Hey, Earl Thomas is the GOAT.
Yeah, respect.
I mean, that's a tough.
It sucks. How about the Chiefs coming out yesterday? Yeah, we were going to trade for him. They came out yesterday and said, yeah, we were definitely trying to trade for him. Oh. Not anymore.
Oh, my God. And if he's playing in Denver on Monday night, you know he doesn't break his leg in Arizona on Sunday. So that's something to think about. But he gets $8.9 million this year.
Yeah.
And they said the clean break will heal before Super Bowl and definitely for free agency. So Earl Thomas will be a healthy animal. Just like Leveon Bell, too, for who says he's coming back
Best
week
running back
7.
in the game.
So
Best running back in the game.
Can we talk about this?
Best running back in the
Because
game.
I don't
Coming back.
understand his strategy here.
Diggs, you guys are bad at football. Steelers are bad right now. Bad at
They look terrible in all facets. Though Boswell seems to have found a stroke
Boswell's
back, which is good.
Whole
Goodness.
team's back.
That's the only good news right now.
Not yet. Week 7, you will be.
But I don't understand the strategy in coming back week 7.
So he did an interview.
Okay?
I understand what you're saying. Like you still can still have a chance to come back and get hurt or whatever.
Just
Yeah.
go on with the fucking interview.
Sorry. That he's doing it just because he misses football and he wants to remind people of how good he is. Like he wants to come back.
I
and play.
respect that. Hey, because that's why I put up videos of me kicking in the backyard, by the way. Hey, y'all motherfuckers forgot real quick. That's what Lev Bell was thinking. But it's his own damn fault that people forget whenever you're looking a little bit overweight performing on TMZ on a nightclub. So what is that, 3 weeks out?
Yeah.
It's the bye week.
7. Week 7 is the bye week, and he said he was going to come back. He doesn't know how many practices he thinks it'll take, but he's definitely going to be ready for Week 8 versus the Browns.
So that's 1 month. So he has 1 month right now to get in shape. Because I know everybody will say, well, the camera, because I look bad on camera very regularly. I was actually told by an agent yesterday, I said, oh, you look better in person. I'm like, thanks. I don't know what that means, but thanks. I appreciate everything you just said.
Angles.
I understand that the camera can kill you a little bit. Lev Bell looks big, though. He looks big. And with those types of athletes, though, like guys like that, though, 1 month is more than enough time to shed. Because that isn't old. Like for us, Todd, you and me, and Bowers has this joke. Like this fat that we have, this thing's been around.
Yeah.
This thing's been here a couple of decades. This fat, you're not just going to take it off easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Lev Bell's fat is what, from one good offseason?
Yeah.
He can shed that with the quickness.
No problem.
1 month he's back in the game. Are the Steelers going to make a late run? Are you guys going to be a good football team again?
Well, yeah, because injuries will be healed up by then. Yeah, probably make an easy. Probably won't lose a game after he gets back, I assume.
Is that what you're thinking, Diggs?
Yeah. Another big thing from that interview was he said that the Steelers told him when they were going through negotiation talks, no matter what, they were going to transition tag him in 2019, which is basically lets him negotiate with other teams,
And
but
then
the
match.
Steelers have the right to match.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm like,
You guys are bad right now.
I just
I'm
don't
like,
get it.
like I've been broken up with, and now,
All this
now
is-
I want to get back together, and I want to forget everything that happened.
You talked a lot of shit when it first happened. You're
Well,
like, I don't
who
get
did?
it.
Employee 26. So
Oh, yeah,
we
what's up?
remember that all.
Week 8 is the
System
trade
running back.
deadline. So that makes sense from that standpoint if he wants to come back and thinks there's a trade in the works. But otherwise, like if you're holding out to protect your body, why not keep holding out until week 10 when you absolutely have to be back?
He wants to
Well,
remind people.
You want to say he's sick of
But
people
you
forgetting.
just saw what happened to Earl Thomas.
And
Yeah.
he commented on Earl Thomas thing.
Keep being a bad guy for
Yeah.
all of us. Earl Thomas, by the way, breaking his leg after holding his first thought, by the way, isn't that I have to rehab my leg. It isn't that I just broke my leg in the middle of this game. It isn't that goddamn that hurts, right? Think about how much pain he was in, by the way. Think about how much pain he's in. No. Cool as a fucking cucumber on the back of a goddamn cart while the other team is patting him on the shoulder. He just thinks to himself, I fucking hate Pete Carroll. Fuck you, man. And you know what? Everybody else over there, too. I'm sure Russell Wilson's near him. Hey, take one there, bub. That is just beautiful to me. Pete Carroll was asked about it, who he thought it was targeted at, and Pete Carroll said it's a big stadium. What an answer. With the gum, too. Big stadium. I absolutely loved that. I cried laughing when I read that Pete Carroll said it was a big stadium. That's just absolutely awesome. Earl Thomas, where will he land? Is he going to go ring shopping Is he going to go for a team that has a chance, like maybe the Rams? Maybe the Rams will figure out a way to get him in that roster, or will he be going for big cash, which is what he wanted, I think, since the beginning?
I mean, he's a Texas guy. I think he's always wanted to play for the Cowboys. It's got to be the favorite. They like him too.
How about the Cowboys going to win? Good for them.
Zeke went off.
Yeah, he looks terrible, by the way.
Yeah.
He looks bad, doesn't he? He looks very bad. But as a football player, he looks good. I'm just talking about as a human.
Yes, I don't get it.
I don't get it either because he's still fast, still in shape. But you know what? This is what happens though when your metabolic rate slows down.
Correct.
A little bit. You get a little bit
Happens
older.
to all of us.
Doesn't happen to you, Nick, huh?
A little bit, but it doesn't show as much. I had it well.
Zeke looks different, doesn't he? But he's still incredible. Still really good at football. Good for him.
Very good.
Good for Dak Prescott too, getting a big win. By the way, I had no idea that Dak Prescott is that bad of a stat getter.
He started very well, and then he plateaued and kind of fell off.
Everybody and their mom though just mentions his stats compared to what everybody else does. Everybody goes compare that to what Dak has done, who I guess has never thrown for 300 yards or something.
He's got no one to throw the ball to.
That too.
And also the people pulling the strings. Des Bryant said bad at it. Bad. Des Bryant's still not in the NFL, right?
No.
Nope.
Who's back first, Lev or Des?
He just tweeted, I think yesterday, someone asked him if he was coming back, and
Yeah,
he
it was
said
this
soon.
weekend.
Who, Des said that?
Yeah.
All right, so there's a little over-under. There's a little pick-em. Is Lev back before Des or Des back before Lev?
If I was a betting man,
Does.
which I am, I think I'm going to lean Des. Slight
Same.
lean Des.
How about in the game, though? So not just on a team, in a game.
Des has more incentive to come back. Lev has no real incentive to come back until week 10. If he comes back before that, it's a weird.
Des
It's the
is-
wrong decision.
Des
for
is
Lev.
rich, though. Des is already rich, just like Lev's already rich. The incentive, there is no incentive, really, for either of them to come back, right? The only reason why Des would come back is for pride. That's the only reason why, to prove everybody that in Dallas he was right, everybody else was wrong. That's the only reason why Des would come back. Lev, same thing, though. Lev would be the same thing. And this is all working out very well to Lev, by the way. With the Steelers losing like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Ravens at home on Monday night, by the way. This is all working out very, very well for Leveon Bell. It's like, who do you think is in the game first? How'd Josh Gordon do this weekend?
I think he had 2 receptions for like 28 yards or something like that.
Miami
Patriots
Dolphins.
are saying he's good.
They're saying he's good?
Patriots are saying they're very happy with what he's doing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, not good.
Edelman's back this week too.
Oh, my God. And they shut out the fucking Dolphins, didn't they?
7. Dolphins scored late.
I bet on the Dolphins.
38-7 was the final.
Plus 6.5. We only needed fucking 32 points in the fourth quarter. I had to turn it off, though, because I was so mad. It was on one of the games.
I hate when that happens.
I had to turn it off because I was just so mad. I'm like, what the fuck happened to you? You guys were on a run, Dolphins. And then you get into Gillette, which is very tough to play. That's why I think the Colts are in for a tough one on Thursday night, especially with, you think Julian was training with little high schoolers like Jameis Winston during his suspension? Did you see the list of players coming back from suspension?
Yeah, there's a lot.
And it wasn't like they were being. It's not like the way TV people were talking about these people who were suspended for 4 games. They were talking about them like, here we go. We got these people coming back from a cheating suspension that was not.
Nobody cares.
Not even.
Nobody cares.
No, nobody gives a fuck. It was like, here's the players coming back, and they start listing them off. They're like, oh, the Patriots get a lot better with this guy coming back. Not a single thing was said like, these terrible humans who tried to cheat and scheme the system are coming back, because I think that's how big of a joke the NFL's testing process is, that everybody on earth is just like, yeah, that's probably bullshit.
Right.
They got a 4-game break. Now they get to come back. I'm excited, though, to watch that Patriots team really piece it together. I know the whole world doesn't like that, especially Indianapolis Colts fans aren't going to like that on Thursday night. But, man, whenever they start – because whenever Tom had Randy Moss, those were fun.
Yeah.
Those games were fun.
He threw for 50 touchdowns.
Those games were fun. And then now you got Patrick Mahomes with the Tyreek Hill in that offense. So now you got at least a 4 o'clock game probably that's going to be incredible. And hopefully a Patriots game that's going to be electric. And it's just like defenses around the league are like, with these rules and these players, we're fucked. Absolutely fucked. The Chiefs and the Rams are on a collision course. I think they play in Mexico or something like that. That game is going to be muy bueno. Muy bueno.
I think the Rams might put up 60 that game.
Against the Chiefs defense.
They're 32nd in the league. They're not great. They played better last night.
So here's something you got to think about as well.
I know they have to be on the field a lot.
Yes, whenever you're scoring at a rapid rate, your defense is on the field a lot. So it's like you don't get a lot of rest. But But no excuses. You're professionals.
Booger was really hard on him last night.
They were bad.
They're-
They were that whole
just
crew
can't
was fucking
tackle.
so bad.
I'm not saying anything about the announcers.
No, Booger was good, but he was really like dissecting.
If he said
the
a country
Kansas City
mile
defense.
one more fucking time, I was gonna lose my shit.
I'm not saying anything. People are saying that those announcers are the worst announcers in the history of football. People are saying that,
I heard that.
but I would never say that. People are saying that it's making games hard to watch with how terrible the announcers are, but I wouldn't say that.
No.
Not me.
No,
People are saying that this decision to have those two people in the booth and that man on a little cart on the sideline blocking the view of people paying thousands of dollars for tickets is the worst decision ever made in the history of NFL being broadcasted. But I wouldn't say that. People are saying that.
How quickly they forget about Dennis Miller.
oh, that was a bad period.
And Kornheiser was in there
Kornheiser,
too,
yeah.
right?
Kornheiser was
Yeah.
terrible.
Every once in a while, I'll see a motherfucker show up in my comment section when people are like, we need McAfee in the booth. We need McAfee in the booth. And people that don't know that I played, they only think that I do comedy or whatever. Oh, yeah, I remember the last time we had comedians in the booth, Dennis Miller. I'm like, if you're comparing me to fucking Dennis,
What an idiot.
I want to walk through Twitter sometimes and just kick a motherfucker in his face. Right out of the phone. Like, as he's holding his phone, I just want to go ahead and reach my leg right through it and just go, shut the fuck up.
We should just make a graphic where you just kick tweets off of
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I really want to do that sometimes. I really do want to do that. The possibility of me covering a game, we are getting close, by the way.
What'd you do yesterday?
Oh, it was a big day in New York.
Huge.
Who was, wasn't it, Foxy?
Yeah, I got kind of bossed on, but that's what happens.
Bro, he got punked hard.
What else
All
is
these
new?
fucking acronyms from these business people just blow my mind.
which
How
one
do you
you fuck up?
expect me to know what that means? What's a DTG or a OWOW? I don't know.
There's an MCM, MCN talk. There was a lot of things going over our head in this meeting, but Foxy was getting shit on.
Yeah.
Foxy was getting shit on. It was awesome. I was enjoying the
You
hell
should
out
have
of it.
got the quarterback wrist, just like looking down. Like,
Bro.
oh, that's
I needed that.
Well, the thing with
needed
Fox
it.
is he went straight from college to this world too, so he's never had to deal with acronyms one day in his life.
Oh.
Business at world acronym. I know
Let's-
you haven't.
Let's
either,
go ahead and
so-
toss me into that. There's a couple of times where I stopped meetings yesterday and was like,
Yeah.
no clue what you just said. Absolutely no clue what you just said right there. And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, I don't know. You just put 3 letters together and expected me to know what the fuck that meant. I don't know what that means. They're like, and then there was a whole Google session on them trying to figure out what exactly it meant. It was wild.
It wasn't very time efficient when those acronyms are supposed to be time efficient.
Fox is only saying this because he got shit on. So went to New York City. For those wondering, the Pat McAfee Professional Baseball Player, the greatest comedic sports documentary in history, will be released October 10th, which is next Wednesday. Pre-order will begin October 7th, which is Sunday. Pre-order is $333. Release date October 10th, $5. So if you don't get it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you have to get it for $5. I'm giving you all a warning.
Still a good deal.
Is there any extra incentive for
Yeah.
pre-order?
Todd, great question. There's no extra incentive for pre-order. None.
Okay.
No extra incentive. But if you do buy it first week that it is out, so we'll go up until the next,
14th.
The following Sunday night.
the following Sunday night. Yeah. So we'll go. You're hearing us make up the rules. Sunday night.
7 days.
14th.
14th. So from the 7th to the 14th, if you buy Pat McAfee, professional baseball player, from PatMcAfeeShow.com, okay, which is OTT, by the way. It's OTT. Don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
Over the top.
Nope.
No.
It's
I forgot.
It's something about us putting it on our own website instead of putting it somewhere else. Gary Vee dropped it.
Yeah.
We have the whole Gary Vee conversation.
I know OPP.
You know me.
Other people's property. You all about stealing that shit. It's not
Not-
that. It's
not
on
DTC.
top. It's on top of something. So whatever. PatMcAfeeShow.com. Pre-order October 7th. Release date October 10th. Until the 14th, if you buy it from the 7th to the 14th, you are entered into the greatest raffle in the history of raffles.
By far. Huge raffle.
And I'm saying this because I mean it.
It's unprecedented.
I've never heard anything like this.
Our sponsors basically got together and said, hey, man, we want to give away a bunch of shit with you. And I was like, you know what? That's good. Because not only is this the greatest comedic sports documentary in history, there's also the greatest raffle alongside of it.
Yep.
You buy the documentary, you get entered into a raffle. In the raffle, there is
2 World Series tickets.
good World Series tickets.
Good World Series tickets. 2 good Super Bowl tickets.
What?
2 WrestleMania tickets.
What?
$1,000 free play from my bookie.
What?
Movement watch and sunglasses.
What?
Lisa mattress.
What?
Job shadow Nick Moraldo.
What?
Maybe the best one there.
$500 Visa gift card.
What?
Signed bat from the game.
What?
And I don't know if anything's been added since we
Adam
did this.
Vinatieri autographed game jersey from this record-breaking season.
Whoa!
Yeah. So all you got to do is buy the documentary from PatMcAfeeShow.com to get entered into that raffle. Whenever you'll get a ticket. You'll get it to your promo code. You will get a ticket to the raffle. And then we will do it as we will pull the tickets. The first winner will get to select out of all those prizes, and we will pull another one, the next person. So you could be stuck winning the Nick Moraldo job shadow at the end if you win, but you do have the chance to win any of these incredible prizes with just the purchase of the documentary. That's $3.33 to enter into possibly winning 2 World Series tickets, 2 Super Bowl tickets, 2 WrestleMania tickets, maybe $1,000 free play from mybookie.ag, an autographed Adam Vinatieri jersey, a $500 Visa gift card, a baseball bat signed, my only bat I ever used. Well, I used 3 of them. You get 1 of them. Mom and Dad get the other one, and I'm going to keep the third. Probably give it away whenever I end up going broke like O.J. Simpson had to do. And a job shadow.
Then we got to steal it back.
Movement watch.
And a movement watch.
Sunglasses and Lisa mattress.
So what we're saying is,
So much good stuff.
And the documentary.
And the documentary.
you get that.
Yes.
You
Which
get
is
that.
good.
You get that.
You don't have to win that. You get that. What a raffle.
How much do those Super Bowl tickets cost you? $1.16 and a half.
Dude, when I say this, I mean it. There's going to be a lot of people that I don't know who I am.
Correct. Just
That
buy it for the raffle.
enter this just for the raffle and never watch the documentary. And I don't give a single fuck about that. This raffle was meant to be the biggest raffle in the history of raffles. Shout out to all of our sponsors for getting involved in that. Shout out to you. I think you're going to enjoy the hell out of this documentary, by the way. I think you're going to enjoy the hell out of it. I did a promo tour yesterday. I was in Gary Vee's office. Do we have the recording of that? Here's me into Gary Vee's office. Hold on. Pause that. So whenever we were thinking about how we promote this,
Yeah.
in my head I thought of, who's a promoter that I know that I could text. So I text Gary Vee, asking him if he can promote it. Then I delete that text. And I go, Gary, is there any way I could get advice, to possibly help me release this documentary? Because Gary is a guy who wants to help you. Mm-hmm. That's all he wants to do is help.
He's a helper.
He's a helper. He's a helper all day, every day. He's a helper.
He's the helper.
He's the internet helper.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
There was an approach to this, though. You couldn't just ask
To promote it,
You
I need to Cards Against Humanity. You need to play
the game.
to who's listening. Yeah. So because I did want to hear Gary's advice. So driving to Gary's office from the airport through the Lincoln Tunnel in the middle of morning rush hour.
Yikes.
How do people live there? I have no idea. Everybody that tells you New York City is the greatest city on earth, liars, all of them. And I know why they're all miserable, because that Lincoln Tunnel fucking traffic is the worst.
Terrible.
We sat underneath the goddamn East River for an hour and a half. Right underneath it. Underneath the bedrock, by the way. Everett, our driver, told us, no, there's no water. We're sneaking here because you're underneath the bedrock. And I'm like, cool, man. Is there any way we can get the fuck out of here, though? And it was just back to back. There's 6 lanes converging down to 2, and there was an accident, I heard.
Yep.
And there was an accident. So we were literally sitting in a Lincoln Tunnel for an hour and a half. People do that every single day of their life. I have no clue how. But we get in there. So now I have to think of what question I'm going to ask Gary Vee. So I had no idea. I was like, what advice am I going to ask him for? We finally get to his building. Front desk lady makes us go stand in the corner because we were in the way.
How was VaynerMedia? Nice.
It's in a building with other stuff. It is very fucking nice, though. We were
Very nice.
mind blown with how
Yeah.
nice he is. This corner office that's got this whole view. It's very, 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 very nice. But the building itself is run by a bunch of fucking assholes.
Right.
We go into the lobby and we're just like, we have no idea where to go. So this lady we thought was being very nice.
Right.
We're like, we're here to see Gary Vee. She's like, oh, okay. Is somebody coming down to get you? We're like, yeah, I think we'll text him. Okay, sounds good. And there's nobody else in the lobby except for us.
Just us. Huge lobby.
Huge lobby. One of the biggest lobbies I've ever seen. You need to go stand over there out of the way. And we're like, out of the way of what? And she's over there. So we go stand in the corner, basically in the corner.
Yep.
So we text Gary Vee's assistant. He tells us we just need to check in with the lady. So now we have to go back, check in. Now we check in.
Yeah.
We get our whole thing. Foxy gets his bag thing. And they don't tell us where to go. They don't tell us. We have no clue where to go. So he said he heard 5, right? Foxy said he heard 5, something about a 5. So we go into the elevators. There's no other option except for 45 and to 50. So we go up to the 45th floor, obviously 45.
Yeah.
We go all the way up. We get up there. It's just some like cafe. It's very nice. We're just moseying around, literally just walking around, go to the bathroom because we almost pissed our pants. It was bad situation through the Lincoln Tunnel. We go to the bathroom up there. So then I send a text to the assistant. I'm like, where are you guys? And they're like, floor 25. I'm like, we didn't even have that option. So we had to go
Wrong
back
bank.
down. Yeah, we had to go.
Elevator bank.
Yeah, we go to the next one. Nope, only the 30s. Then we had to go to the next elevator bank on the other side of the building, up to 25. Now we're 15, 20 minutes late to this meeting with Gary Vee. So we go in to the VaynerMedia. We walk into his desk, and this is how long the whole conversation was.
Did Tyler tell you my issue?
Yeah, you're gonna be quick, right?
Like, I gotta run into this. I got a little bit of a fire.
Well,
Talk to me.
okay. So, A, thank you for taking time. B, boss shit you got going on right here, Gary.
Pretty amazing scene, right?
Yeah, I was up in the 45th floor of this place because I thought the lady said 45. So we were in a complete different. Okay, so I'm releasing the greatest comedic sports documentary in history next Wednesday. Okay?
Amazing.
It's me playing professional baseball. For the first time in my life playing baseball, mic'd up the entire time. My friends commentating. It's a good thing. Alongside of that, we're releasing, every time you buy a documentary, you enter into a raffle. In the raffle, we have 2 Super Bowl tickets, 2 World Series tickets, 2 WrestleMania tickets,
How much is the doc?
$333 pre-order, $5 release.
Love it. It's gonna be on what? iTunes?
PatMcAfeeShow.com.
I understand. As an OTT.
I'm not sure what that means.
Over the top, on top of the internet. Meaning, I put in my credit card right there and I watch it right there.
Yes, it
It's
stays
not
there.
on Netflix. It's not on.
Yes. How much is too much of pushing it? Like, do people get
That was my
sick of
advice.
that?
How
You
much
think?
is too much
No, I
promoting,
think
by the
you
way, to Gary
haven't
Vee?
had to push. So you've built up an audience for a long time where I think you're like, I think you make a fun Instagram post right now and be like, yo, for the next week, I'm Colin McGregor, I'm Floyd Mayweather, I'm Vince McMahon, I'm Macho Man Randy Savage,
Yeah.
I'm promoting my thing.
Yeah.
So like, cool. Like,
So they know it's coming.
Yeah, be like, enjoy promotional Pat. Because I'm gonna push it, I want you guys to see it. It's fucking worth it, and I felt like such a douche that I had to push it. I had to make these raffles for you fuckers too.
Got it.
Own it.
Got it.
Like when I do my book and sneaker, I'm like, yo, jab, 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 right hook. Like I'm in right hook mode. Like all that shit I do for free, better than everybody, all the rest of the year. And this is I'm throwing my right. And but I'll give you a real good piece of advice, which is just true.
True. For free.
As long as you let your audience know that you don't expect them to buy, that you appreciate them to consider to buy, that's the whole relationship.
That's all you ask.
You understand?
He stepped up.
The whole relationship is like, yo,
Hard dap.
I've been doing a
He's
lot
only
of this
got
stuff. I have
3
an audience.
minutes. He's got a fire.
Like, you guys know what's going on with me. I'm on my own now. Like, I don't have the machine supporting me. Like, I made this rad thing. I think it's super worth $3.33. I think it's worth $5. I also fucking love the fact that some of you are going to WrestleMania in the World Series because you bought it. Because I want to do this. Like, I'd appreciate you consider this if I've ever brought you value. And if not, no big deal. Next thing you might like, boom, boom, boom.
You're the man.
You see what I mean?
Yeah,
it's an authentic
because then it's not an
relationship.
awkward situation
That's
where I'm
not
like,
awkward.
hey, you should buy this. It's more
It's
like, hey,
I'd
if
like,
you want.
I'd like you to really consider this, so that I can keep doing my thing. But if you don't want to watch it, like fuck me, don't buy it. That being said, if you're a gambler like me and you want to buy it just because you want a chance to go to the fucking,
That's what I think. It's the greatest raffle in history.
I think
with
you
it.
just own it. You have a real audience. People fuck with you. Just tell them the truth.
I appreciate you, mate.
And send me text with the links when you. So is it up now? Are you going now?
It's over 7th.
Good. So like as soon as you start promoting, send it to me. I'll give love.
It's good, by the
I
way.
feel good.
This office is dope, buddy.
We need to really hang. I hate that I have to run to this and it's rushed.
Well, I was in the Lincoln Tunnel for 45 minutes, so.
Fuck.
Yeah,
But how often are you here?
very rare. This city's the worst. How the fuck do
You hate New York, right?
you hate it? I stepped in a human's feces the other day. What the
Yeah,
fuck
but what do you have
guys-
in Indianapolis?
Peace of mind, no traffic, a lot of land, big house. That's about it.
4 shitty things.
Appreciate you, dude. And that's how it ended. So big thanks to Gary Vee. So I'm gonna be calling McGregor.
I'm setting the over-under at 300 for the amount of times I say I'm in right hook mode.
I enjoy the first thing you said when you sit down in this important meeting with Gary Vee. boss shit.
Dude, Foxy's going to put a whole video together of yesterday. He videotaped everything. That was from a cell phone video, by the way, that Foxy was taking. Because we were trying to film everything without people knowing that we're filming because it's awkward. You get yelled at every building you walk
Everywhere.
into. No, that lady that told us to go stand in the corner, also no filming like 5 times.
Immediately.
Yeah, you got Gary Vee upstairs who films everything. Do you know that? I don't know if you know. There's a guy. But Gary Vee, good advice. I appreciate it. It was very nice of him to take the time, but he had to go put a fire out.
Because I think being upfront with like, hey, I'm going to promote the fuck out of this is the right thing to do.
I'm going to let you know that even if you don't like me, which is cool with me, I'm not for everybody, you should at least enter this raffle for $3.33. Maybe a $5 raffle, and you could win. Shout out SeatGeek, by the way.
Yeah.
Sims and Lefko, which I also stopped by, Bleacher Report. I did this whole plug, I said 2 good Super Bowl tickets, 2 good World Series tickets, 2 good WrestleMania tickets. And Sims goes, good, not great. And I'm like, well, we don't know what they are yet. But I don't want to. Also, I think there's some legality where somebody could potentially come after.
These are good.
They're good. They're good tickets. And SeatGeek said they'll be very, very good tickets.
You're not touching the ceiling of the arena.
You're in the game.
Yeah.
EA Sports.
Promise that. I think we could make. I don't know if we legally we can make the promise that you won't be touching the ceiling of the arena.
We can. We can definitely make that promise. We can make that promise that you will not be in the upper tier. You will not be in the upper bowl. You'll be in the lower bowl of all these events.
Great stadium too. Falcons.
That's
It's in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, you're gonna want to go to that
good
Super Bowl, and who knows where the World Series will be, obviously. But WrestleMania is, I think, it's at MetLife.
Yep.
I believe is at MetLife Stadium.
outdoors.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible. Is it at MetLife?
I think it is. I
think
thought
it
that's
is,
what we
yeah.
talked about.
Oh boy,
did
we'll
it.
get you a jacket too. But it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania though, so I'm very excited for this documentary to go. But I go to Bleach Report, so we go Gary Vee for 5 minutes, literally chat with him. Then we stop by my agent, CA. I got people. We sit by there. We talk for an hour and a half about everything. Basically, Pat, what are you thinking about doing? And I learned that if you don't have an agent, you're fucked. That's what I learned yesterday. I just learned that if you don't, there's a reason why it's not about what you know. It's about who you know. In every industry, they say. I've always prided myself on being a very independent operator. I'll put my numbers up against anybody that has an agent. I'll put my numbers up against anybody on the internet. While you, mainstream, main network people on these Twitter purges are losing half your followers, mine are still growing. I have a lot of pride in that. A lot of pride in that. With that being said, I get considered for nothing that is like mainstream or in the networks or anything that I'd be probably good at. I get considered for nothing of it. And I've always held a very hard grudge against all these networks that never hire. I mean, fuck you, ESPN. You don't want, go to hell then. Like when I was coming out of the league, Barstool was the only place that offered me anything. And there was a guy who was saying he was my agent, sending out feelers. Nobody wanted. I was like, fuck everybody then, if that's the case. But it turns out that if you don't have an agent, you have no chance anywhere. And that's what we learned yesterday.
Yeah, you can see now, like they're so busy, places like that, sifting through and sorting through the people that all these agents are pitching at them. They don't have time to think about an independent.
No, they have no.
You know what I mean?
And there's also these agents. That's why I'm very lucky I signed with the people that I signed with. See, I guess they're very, very important.
They know everyone.
Hey, a lot of name drop. I'm not a big name dropping guy. Normally, when people start name dropping, that's why anytime a name drop happens, you hear me go into the microphone. I don't love name droppers, but when you're talking to an agent and they just start name dropping all the people that they've done work for, it was the first time in my life. I actually had a full conversation in my head. You know, one of those situations where it's like in my head, I'm like, I fucking hate that they're dropping names like this. And then I start listening to what they're saying. I'm like, these people have worked with some pretty big motherfuckers.
When you walked in there, did you feel like Vinny Chase, like going like?
Oh
to
yeah,
see Eric
there was a couple entourage references I made for sure. But we walked around the entire office. I met Joel Embiid's agent. I met Aaron Rodgers' agent. I met all these people, and I was just like, yeah, it all makes sense why I never got a fucking job. We got these people just battling.
Tell me, did you make a money joke to Aaron Rodgers, like how much he just got paid? The agent just got paid off that deal.
I did talk about I mentioned $100 million guaranteed somewhere in there, but it was just.
Does he look anything like the guy that plays his agent on the State Farm commercial?
No, he doesn't. Yeah. He's actually this older gentleman, white guy, and he's got slick back hair. Obviously, he looked good. He's a attractive older man, but he's got this corner office, obviously. obviously, it's all roads led back to this guy's office.
Very nice.
Always feet up on the desk.
Yeah, oh yeah. He was, but they're all very nice to us.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Very, very nice to us. And then we get in this meeting, and there's this lady who reps all these production companies. So now TV show ideas, which I got a bunch of them. I got a bunch of TV show ideas for everybody, not just for myself, but for everybody. They're like, what's your plan? I'm like, well, I'd like to do I want to bring back Minute to Win It. You ever heard of that game? I want to bring back Minute to Win It. I think it will crush at these modes. I'd like to host it. I'd like to do that. They're like, okay. The lady starts writing it down. And then she's like, anything, what if shows are being offered up? Can we put your name in to host them if they're not your idea? I'm like, absolutely. She's like, all right, there's a couple of main networks that have some game shows coming up. Would you mind if we put your name in there? I'm like, go ahead and put my fucking name in there. They're like, well, these production companies, they always ask for JJ Watt. So when JJ doesn't do them, we'll just send your name in there. I'm like, I will take JJ Watt's secondhand faller downers, his scrubs, anything like any day of the week, by the way. I will take anything. They're like, okay, sounds good. And they're like, okay, you, guy with the camera, do you have a sizzle reel for him? And Fox is like, nope. Do you have a template, a designer template?
I had no idea what that meant.
Do you have a designer template? And Foxy's like, nope. Do you have any clips at all, highlights of him? And Foxy's like, we have them, yeah, but not sorted. And they're like, okay, do you do anything? And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, fucking unbelievable, Foxy. And the other agents that I've done some work with, they traveled out here to the office 2 times. They're guys, I would consider them friends at this point now, by the way. They seem like they have my best interest, because if they have my best interest, they make a lot of money too. So I very much understand this is a money-driven relationship, but I'm okay with that. These guys. So everybody in the room basically just started piling on Foxy. Like, what the fuck do you do?
Is that your next project?
Yeah, it's my next project. I was like, in my defense, we have not needed a reel up until this point because we were working at Barstool, so we didn't need one.
Oh, yeah. See, I learned that we probably did, by the way.
Well, you should always have a rainy day fund.
I guess you're right.
I'll tell you what, these people, though, these super important people, though, just looking at Foxy, what the fuck do you do?
I was fucking helping.
What were you wearing?
He was sitting
What were you wearing, Foxy?
He had a polo on.
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
He had a polo on. He
There you
looked
go.
pretty good, but he was sitting on his couch like all by himself, basically, and I was sitting on a lone chair, and then everybody was just staring at him for a minute. I saw him start to sweat. I'm just thinking of Foxy in his head. He's like, I'm sitting in the CAA building.
Yeah.
It's just, this is pretty cool. Some pretty fucking big-time players in this room right now, and everybody's staring at me, just piling on me right now, and obviously I had to jump in. So he went to Michigan State. I mean, what do you want from me? And then that led into a whole nother conversation. He just started getting dumped on. It was wild.
And they kind of felt bad bringing up like production companies because they're like, your work's great, don't get me wrong, but it would be in Pat's best interest to get him a part of these. And I'm like, guys, I literally said, I get it.
It was very tough. It was very tough. It was Foxy had a rough 20 minutes in there. It was about 20 minutes of them just like trying to talk around Foxy's
they
ego.
really were.
And I was like, Foxy and I both, I had to stop it actually and say, we both get it, that we might have to work with production companies. That's completely okay with us, just for future reference. And they're like, okay. I'm like, Foxy would just be there basically making the vlog behind the scenes, by the way. And they're like, okay, that's really good to know. And then the conversation completely shifted to we have this show, this show. I was loving, because Foxy's got thick skin. I mean, you kind of have to work here. I mean, I think we all kind of take shots at each other.
Yeah.
There was one soft bitch that worked here for a while. He's gone, but it was one of those situations where Foxy was just getting crushed for 20 minutes. And instead of being the boss that like feels bad for him, I was just like dying laughing, because who gives a fuck?
No, not at all. I was just glad to be there, to be honest.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Tough spot, but I don't think anybody here, Pat especially, thought you were going to remake Family Feud.
Hey, CAA, I don't know how dumb you think we are. Yeah, well, I know Foxy isn't making Minute to Win It right now, and we very much understand that.
And then you went to Bleacher Report after that?
Then we go to Bleacher Report right after that. Well, we go to get lunch, first of all. And no, I can't. We go to lunch. Hilarious stories are shared there, and I'm just dying laughing. And that lunch is where I realized that you have to know people to get any job. By the way, that was at that lunch. That's where everybody was kind of more casual. There was a lot of fucking just stories being told, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really. It makes sense now. It makes sense now why I've only lived on Pat McAfee Show Twitter and Pat McAfee Show Internet. That's it. It makes 100%. So then we go to Bleacher Report. We hop in a taxi. I get car sick.
Yeah.
This guy was a lunatic.
Oh, yeah,
I can't do back of cars. I think everybody has known I don't do riding well. I always drive. I even Uber. I'll get in an Uber and I'll ask the guy if I can drive. They'll get in the passenger seat. It's just the way it go. I get in Zito's car. I drive. I get in Nick's car. I drive. It's literally just it's so I can't ride because I get car sick. And in the back of those taxis in New York City, I was sweating. My mouth was sweating. I almost puked a couple
So
times.
you get car sick because you have no control of the car, essentially?
No, I
No,
think
it's just car-
I think I
normal
get
ass
car
car
sick.
sick.
He's
Yeah.
just whipping around.
I think I get car sick. But when I'm driving, I don't. I don't know why. Maybe I
You're
don't.
dialed in.
The last
You're
time we were in
focused.
New York, the Uber driver was going 90 through.
Oh, my God.
basically
It was
Times
terrifying.
That's what our guy was doing yesterday. Our guy was doing yesterday and trying to tell jokes while doing it and didn't speak English. It was. I was starting to sweat though. So we get there 2 minutes before we're supposed to go on air with Sims and Lefko. And we arrive and I'm sweating. I have to piss again. It's just I'm in a bad spot. They come down. You have to check in to get into any building. We go out to Bleacher Report, and I have never seen a nicer office in my entire life. Never in my entire life have I seen a nicer office. In the middle of Manhattan, probably the most expensive
They got
real estate.
TNT money.
Yeah.
TNT Turner money
Turner
is
money.
a real thing. It's a bigger office than this one.
Yep.
It's a nicer office than this one. It's the nicest office they have a basketball court in there. It's the nicest office I've ever seen in my entire life. We did an internet show, Sims and Lefko. There was 4 cameras,
Yep.
6 interns, 4 camera people, 2 makeup artists for an internet show. And I took 10 minutes commenting about how much money was spent on this production of this internet show. And they're like, yeah, this is how it is. And you walk around the office and everything is just pristine. Everything is high level. Bleacher Report, they got the Tiger Woods Phil Mickelson thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I don't know how much money they're making over there, but they got a big bank behind them. And not a single person has to use our sponsor, Upstart. Upstart has revolutionized how we borrow money by going beyond the traditional FICO score to offer personal loans, taking into account factors like job experience and education when determining your interest rate. It's quick and easy. Checking your Upstart rate is free and has no effect on your credit score. Your Upstart rate check just takes 2 minutes. And if you are approved, you can get your funds as soon as the next business day.
Oh, nice.
Bleacher Report ain't borrowing no money.
No.
They got all the money.
Probably the best office in New York.
I would say that.
That you've
It's a
seen
bold
by far.
statement, too.
You got to remember,
It was incredible.
Every building in New York is old. All the shit is old normally, and this might be me living in a very small world. But
Same.
I feel like I've been in a lot of buildings in New York, either to pee or to puke after with Mark Henry. They're all old. Everything's old.
Yeah, you think L.A., you think nice, crisp, clean, showy, and then New York, you think Gotham, like it's very dark and old architecture.
You got the things outside that cover
Scaffolding.
the scaffolding covering. It, not because they're building; it's because the
They're
building
always-
is falling.
yeah.
It's falling actually, not building. It's because shit's falling on you. And you walk into this Bleacher Report building, and it was the nicest office I've ever seen in my. Nicest office I've ever been in my entire life.
was
Every
so cool.
single inch of it was just not. I'm like, oh.
How about the basketball court? Big ceiling for that?
They got a high ceiling. Yeah, it was only a 3-point arc though.
Yeah.
It was only a 3-point arc, so it wasn't a full court. It was in the back corner.
Yeah.
But it's the nicest office I've ever seen.
For sure.
Full sports bar up there.
Oh, I love that.
It's outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous. That has to be what, $5 million a month. How much they're paying for that
Can't
rent?
imagine.
Just rent there, let alone the 300 humans they got working inside of it. It was absurd.
Mm-hmm.
It was the nicest office I've ever been in my entire life. Good for them. Wow. You got a lot of cake. I think I did pretty well in there too.
The show?
I think so.
Oh, you did.
I didn't enjoy Sims before meeting him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sims is kind of a guy that he doesn't want people to like him, I don't think. He's kind of like one of them Skip Baylesses almost, like kind of.
Comes off as
That's what he is. I think he comes off, though, as a snob almost, right? Kind of snobby.
nerdy. He like.
I called him a nerd.
Yeah, you
Well,
didn't
he
like
is.
it.
I called him a nerd. He did not enjoy it. I did call him a nerd on the air. But after meeting him, I think he's a really cool guy.
Agreed.
Just for future reference, I think he's a very cool guy. I think I will fall. Not that I was ever on the hater of Chris Sims train. After meeting him, I will never be a hater of Chris Sims. I think he was cool to meet him. I understand his character might be one that is hateable, right? I think he has a hateable character maybe that he plays on TV, but I like Chris Sims as a person. And his boy Lefko, hilarious.
Yeah, he was.
Big fan of that Lefko.
Is he the guy who was in the video with McVay?
Yep. Absolutely. You can pay for just about anything with your Upstart loans. When you're approved for the personal loan with Upstart, the funds are yours and yours alone. Use them to pay off credit cards, consolidate debt, maybe gambling debts, eliminate student debt, and even make a large purchase. The choice is yours. That's because Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. Yep, they actually reward you based on your education and your job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. 2 minutes is all it takes. Checking your Upstart rate is always free and won't affect your credit. The best part, once you're approved, loans next day. Over 100,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, fund their wedding, or simply make a large purchase. Now, it's your turn. Hurry to upstart.com/heartland to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes 2 minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/heartland. Shout out to Upstart. So Bleacher Report was dope.
I just saw pictures. That's very, very nice.
It's incredible.
It's so nice.
I'm not one that gets mesmerized easily, I don't think, because I've got a chance to do a lot of very cool things. I walked into that office because now, granted, every place I go, I compare to this Fantasy Factory, right? So I compare everywhere to where I work at on a daily basis, the place that I built, basically. So I compare everything to us with 30-foot ceilings and a basketball court, half court, by the way, Bleacher Report.
This TV wall is pretty cool.
Dude, that is just such a small little part of it. It is. I walked in there, though, and was like, oh, if I had this place, I would be very excited. This is awesome. I assume there's people that just sleep there and they don't even know it. I assume there's Bleacher Report employees that sleep there all day and they don't even know it. I fucking loved it. So we leave Bleacher Report, and then we have to go to Sports Illustrated now. Sports Illustrated, by the way, is on the southern tip of Manhattan. Oh. So it was a 45-minute taxi ride. So now we got to get back in one of them death mobiles. And here I am, sick again. We're bobbing, weaving. We get down to Sports Illustrated. We got to check in. Foxy makes an ass out of himself again at check-in.
That was a mess.
He's having a rough day because they check everybody's bags before you go in anywhere. And there was a huge sign that said, please enter here for bag check.
Wasn't huge.
Huge. Foxy's standing, doing a full spin in a circle asking where to go. And the fucking guy at the front desk is like, sir, right fucking next to you. And he like looks, he goes, oh, I didn't even see it. Walks in, walks out. Foxy's just getting crushed now by the Sports Illustrated people. Yep. We go into the Sports Illustrated office now. They're charging $5 a month for people to watch the Sports Illustrated stuff.
Premium content.
SI Now or whatever, which I did not know until we got in there. They have never paid for air conditioning with that fucking money that people are paying.
What's up with that?
300 degrees in that office. Yeah. I'm sweating my dick off at this point. But they have probably $400,000 worth of lights in their ceiling of their thing. They have 5 cameras that are run on remotes. You know, those remote robotic cameras, all in one little studio, tiny little studio. Yep. I'm like, man, this is an internet show? And they're like, yeah, what's your setup like? I'm like, we got a cell phone.
we got 2 sticks and an HDMI cord.
It's wild the amount of money these big, old money people are spending on the modern internet stuff. Yeah. It was crazy. So we hop in a plane, fly back here this morning. We're off and running, and I can't wait for just the world that I potentially could be getting baptized into.
Let me ask you this, because it seems like a lot of the people that are in the industry you're being exposed to now are kind of like, what took you so long? Why'd you wait so long or whatever? Are you happy with the timing? Because there's an old saying, don't be in a hurry to fail. And the list of people that as soon as they got a little bit of heat, the industry grabbed them up and spread them out too early and they failed is much longer than the amount of people who succeeded. So I would put you in that position of you're one of those people that are doing it when you're almost too good already to be doing it, which is a good spot.
So I think I'm prepared. So if that makes sense, I think I'm prepared for it. Any situation, whenever I was younger and I thought I was, like when I had 100,000 followers, I thought I was a monster, right? And that's because I was looking around the NFL at what other people had. That was before everybody was on Twitter. And I had more followers or the same amount of followers as some big name people with zero pub from ESPN or anybody else. Right. So I thought I was a monster. Then I started doing radio and I thought I was hilarious, right? I thought I was very good. And then you just start realizing like, I'm not that good. Like as you get older, you're like, I wasn't that good then. I've had a chance to have to take pictures everywhere I go in Indianapolis, so I'm not going to get to the point where I become a gigantic douchebag whenever people start asking for photos, hopefully. If I become a monster. This is all if I become a monster. Hopefully it does, by the way. And I also think that I have a group of people who have supported me which are my followers on either Twitter or this. I think I have a group of people who supported me that I'm going to enjoy the ride with, right? So I think it's a lot bigger deal whenever you're with a group of people, because it's like yesterday, if I would have started posting videos that I was with this or with Bleacher Report, my followers would have blew up Bleacher Report. Like Matt Hasselbeck did a For the Brand thing last night on ESPN, and he got more mentions for that than anything he's ever done. The people that fuck with me are the greatest group of humans on earth, and I think I'm just prepared for it all now. So, like, for instance, on Sunday, I think I'm sitting in a pretty big network's office and watching football with them all day Sunday. A very large network. I'm going to be in Los Angeles. I'm sitting with them all day, and it's like I think I won't make an ass of myself.
It'll be awesome.
Right.
If that makes sense. I
Yeah,
think I'm
no,
at the
it totally
point where
makes
I
sense.
won't make an ass of myself. Where earlier in my career, I probably, or in my life, I probably would have made an ass out of myself. So now I just feel like I'm prepared for things. I'm very comfortable. I know who I am now. I know what I'm not. I know where I should stay away from when I'm talking. Like, oh yeah, if I bring this up, I'm gonna look like an idiot. I know nothing about that. I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I feel very comfortable and
I agree.
confident.
I think it's important because it takes a while for people, I think, celebrity-wise or entertainment-wise, to actually find themselves, who they are, and that's when things start clicking, because then they truly find how people can best enjoy them.
So, for instance, Mauro Ronaldo, right? The bipolar rock and roller, the announcer for NXT, Bellator, the Mayweather-McGregor fight. Whenever I'm doing the NXT pre-shows, he listens and watches, right? And afterwards, he comes up and talks to me. Now, Michael Cole is my boss, right? When I'm there, Michael Cole is the guy I report to. Michael Cole always tells me, you just be you, man. All he wants you to do is be you. Always tells me congratulations and stuff like that. And he says, I love your brand, everything about you. Very nice. He'll tell me some things like, hey, maybe stay away from this next time. That's not really a good thing for us to talk about, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Mauro Ronaldo came up to me and he said, when you were talking up there, I wrote a note down to tell other people that you know who you are. And I was like, yeah. Well, I've been with me for 31 years. He was like, no. Whenever you get into a microphone or into a situation, you know exactly who you are. He said there's a lot of people that are trying to figure out who they're supposed to be whenever they get on TV or on the microphone. He said, you are always you. He said, I listen to your podcast. I watch you in videos. You are always you. And he said, that is something I think, and it was a huge compliment from Mauro Ronaldo. It made me feel very good, actually.
Yeah, because otherwise people sound disingenuous. Yeah.
Fake.
Because it's not the true them.
And he asked me why I think it is. And I think it's because I got humbled so hard in my life. I think I've been humbled so hard. I've been whenever I got arrested and I became a national punchline for everybody, that was the moment I think I was like, well, people are going to hate me regardless. Let's just fucking do it. And I'm very lucky that I made that decision to just be like, fuck everybody. You either like, and this is with all due respect to everyone. Fuck everyone. That really is, though. If you don't like me, you don't like me. That's why I always say some people aren't for, like, I'm not for everybody. And I honestly give no fucks. Like, if you don't like me, I don't care. And it's a pretty freeing feeling to be that way.
That's why I think a main benefit of being in a locker room for so long is too, because if you're not yourself, you're gonna get fucking dogged on hard.
Oh yeah.
And like that's one of the main, like, that's why I always like, if you play a team sport, like, it sets you up for life so much better than if you did not.
You learn so much, not only in the discipline of practice and the pain that it
Winning,
takes,
losing,
working
everything.
while tired, by the way. There's something that if you're not a part of a team sport or a sport in general, you don't have a clue about. We had some interns here that were tired and couldn't work, and I was trying to figure out why, and it was like, oh, you never played a sport before, so you have no clue what it's like to actually work while you're tired. Not that it's only sports athletes that have it. That is a gene that does transcend past just athletes, but that is something I think sports do teach you, is the ability to work. And I think, Todd, you might have helped me realize that, where it's like sports are something that teach people a lot of different lessons.
Yeah, like I always encourage everyone to get their kids involved in sports, because even if they're not good, I mean, the lesson learned is invaluable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Work ethic, how to help others around you succeed.
It was when we were making my stand-up thing. That's
Yes.
exactly what it was.
Yeah,
And Todd
right.
and I, we had a full conversation. I had a stand-up special where we had an editor who was just dropping the ball. It was like we only had a week and a half really to make this thing, which, by the way, the agents learning about how I operate is very hilarious. Yeah. By the way, I'm coming to New York City on Monday. Yeah, I'm going to be there for about 8 hours, so I need you guys to make things happen. This upcoming Monday? Yeah, 2 days from now, I'm coming to New York. Do you? It's gonna be tough. yeah. It's gonna. And then they text me on Sunday, the night before I go. They're like, "Is Bleacher Report and Sports Illustrated meeting with us and Gary Vee enough? Is that worth the trip?" I'm like, yeah. That's much more than I thought we were gonna get. They're like, you give us about a week in advance, we could probably help out a lot. I'm like, that ain't how this whole thing goes down, by the way. But that was very much in you really pointed it out. You're like, sports teach people different things. It really does. It's very. It is nice. It is very freeing, though, to walk in any situation and feel very good about what you're going to do, what you're going to say, and believe everything you say, too, by the way. So everything I say, if I was to be put on the railroad tracks and say, why did you say this? I'd be like, yeah, that's how I fucking feel. What do you want from me? There's never going to be something that's held over my head.
And you learn how to take criticism, all these things to make the team better.
Yep.
The other thing is about not realizing who you are and getting blown up too early. I think that's a big reason why a lot of child stars don't make it to the second phase of their career, because
of life either.
Seriously.
they just spend their adulthood trying to still be that fake version of themselves or whatever they were, when they hit it big.
Yep.
And they never got to discover who they really are.
Or they don't, and people don't like them for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they try and be themselves, and it's not what people thought they were, and they don't like it.
Yeah. So you shouldn't be exposed until you've already figured that out, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm just ready. I honestly do. I think I'm just ready for it. And if I fail, I fail. I can always kick a ball. There's a lot of leagues. There's a lot of leagues out there. But I'm very thankful for all the people that follow along. I'm very lucky for you. Sure. We're an active gang here. We're an active group. And we're very, very thankful. Stick around to the end of the show, by the way. We have an incredible giveaway for you. It'll be awesome. After this interview with AQ Shipley, you're going to absolutely love, by the way. AQ's he's a real one. There's a guy. He's a real one. You'll hear about that. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs options, and cryptos all commission free.
Really?
Wow.
No
We're
commission.
big ETFs.
Love it.
Electronically traded funds.
Dixie! Dixie with the big brain.
That one I do know.
Big brain. They strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy. That's who we're not about, by the way. I learned that in my meeting with CAA. They were looking at our analytics. I'm not huge in the big cities, but right here in America, I seem to do well in, which is awesome. And I actually had to say a couple of times, no offense to you. Do you remember I was trying to use the word? No offense to you, I don't know how to say this. You suits. No, it's not. You yuppies. I think it's, is that the proper? You yuppies. Does that make sense to you guys? And they were like, yeah. No offense taken, by the way. We're here to work with you and your people, not our people. If our people aren't your people, we're okay with that. And I was like, yeah, you agents are the best. I can just say whatever I want. I can just say whatever I want about you guys. But it was true though. I learned But Robinhood is trying to take care of everybody. Non-intimidating way for stock market newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence. I'm going to become a day trader. It's simple and intuitive, clear design with data presented in an easy to digest way. There's no commission fees. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every single trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees, trade stocks, and keep all of your profits. Wow. It's incredible. Robinhood. You know what we're going to do in this? We're going to steal from the rich, and we're going to give it to us. And us being you. It's easy to understand charts and market data. Place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. Robinhood web platform also lets you view stock collections, 100 most popular sectors like entertainment and social media, and curated categories like female CEOs, and analyst ratings of buy, hold, sell for every stock. See that?
Wow.
You need that.
It's incredible. Robinhood is giving listeners of this show a free Stock Life Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio.
Really?
I don't think I know what that means, but that's a pretty big deal.
Wait,
Isn't
did
it?
they say
Free stock in Apple?
Robinhood is giving listeners of this show a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio.
Apple, Ford, or Sprint? I don't know what stock like is.
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be a comma probably. Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock
Oh,
like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your
pretty
portfolio.
big.
Jazz.
that's pretty big.
Yes. Sign up at McAfee, MCAFEE.Robinhood.com. That's McAfee.Robinhood.com. I don't know if what we just said was accurate, but I am definitely going to sign up for a free stock. I have no clue what we're getting, but we're getting something
I
free.
mean, Apple's trading right now at $230.
McAfee.Robinhood.com. That's McAfee.Robinhood.com. Let's become day traders. Let's do that. Let's start becoming a little stalkers.
not?
I mean, might as well. No commission fees there, and you keep all the money you make. What are they doing? How are they making money?
Interesting.
It can't be. It's not our fault though. It's their fault that they're not making any money. McAfee.robinhood.com. Can't wait to get a part of that. Very thankful to them. Ladies and gentlemen, good friend of mine. Joining us now, friend of mine, friend of the show. He was the starting center for the Arizona Cardinals. Then his ACL said, nah, dog. So then he got a 1-year extension with the Cardinals. He's a 10-year NFL vet from the Shipley University, Penn State, A.Q. Shipley.
I mean, these intros get better and better every time.
I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and talk about something that you probably don't want to talk about. Let's say it's 4th and 5. 4th and 5. You're at home in Happy Valley. The most wild atmosphere I think I've ever seen in sports. Kirk Herbstreit actually called it the most insane college environment when Ohio State is in Penn State with that whiteout on earth. You're in the game. You got a quarterback that has an incredible track record of making plays happen, and you decide to run a dive to lose the game in the biggest game of the year, your dreaded rival. How's that feel as a Penn State knit?
Worst fucking call I've ever seen.
How mad were you? Did you throw the remote?
I'm not even kidding you. I mean, like, I was sitting there, and I'm looking at the TV, and I didn't say anything for a second. Then I looked at the TV and I go, "That's the fucking call. That is the fucking call. That is what we call on 4th and 5." And then to boot, my mother-in-law's in town, and she's got a boyfriend who his kids went to Ohio State.
Oh.
So she decides to take the side of him and is like cheering, and I go, "Don't you say another word to me."
They come into your house, AQ. They come into your fucking house.
Disrespect, the level of disrespect. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
How about James Franklin getting into it with the fans after?
Yeah, an
too?
atmosphere so wild that the overgrown man-child of a coach can't handle it and tries to climb into the stands.
AQ.
You know, I didn't see that video. My sister told me about that yesterday. Apparently, it's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, it was. And then
Security guards were like holding them back.
the fans were just like, "Hey, wasn't a good call, coach." And then he was like, "Oh, really, buddy?" Like tried to come in the stands, and then the fans were like, "Oh, I get it. He was mad."
James
I
Franklin,
get it, I
yeah.
get
You
it."
guys went right back to your
Yeah.
cult. The guy
It was
went
a wild switch.
It was, dude. But I think that Ohio State game means so much, huh? Like all year round. Is that the thing that you guys are prepping for? Like, hey, we cannot lose to Ohio State. We can do this. We can do this. We can cover up pedophilia for 2 decades. We can do this.
Easy.
We cannot lose to Ohio State. Is that the thought in Penn State, though?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at the Big Ten has basically become a 4-man race basically every year, and the level of competition between Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, Wisconsin, like those 5 teams, and then the rest of them are just bottom dwellers.
Well, Iowa's pretty
Is the way I
good,
look. We'll go there. I mean, but at the end of the day, you play, and half the time, you know, because they did this Big Ten East, Big Ten West thing, you don't play Wisconsin and Iowa. So basically, if you win the Ohio State game every year, you're basically on the track to win the Big Ten.
Okay, so it's not only is it a rivalry, a border rival, which is huge, which has been hyped up forever, a long time. It's also a fast track to a Big Ten championship, which in the end is all that matters.
Exactly.
How about losing Urban Meyer his first game back after just a terrible situation? Penn State could have really done some morality, some good stuff for the world, and they let him down after 3 timeouts, 4th and 5 dive.
You're right. They could have. We just decided to just trick off a fucking 8-point lead and go 4th and 5 dive call. It's fucking awesome.
Were you at the Cardinals game this past weekend?
Yeah, I went.
How did you feel? I'll ask you about Earl Thomas flipping off the entire Seattle Seahawks bench here in a second, but how'd you feel about Rosen? Did he handle himself like a professional? How do the Arizona Cardinals fans and how's the building feel about the kid?
Yeah, I mean, the kid did. I mean, he's the future. I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, he went out, he showed some poise, he handled himself well. Seattle's obviously known for having obviously Earl Thomas and Bobby Wagner, two of the best defensive players in the game. He went out and made big time throws on third down, on in different situations of the game. He had two big drops that could have made his numbers even a lot better, and took us down in the fourth quarter, down 7, ended up tying the game. So he showed some promise, no question about it.
Surprised a lot of you guys, you think?
Yeah, to be honest. I mean, you look at rookie quarterback, it's so hard to come in because at the end of the day, like, you come in and in April and you get thrown into this fishbowl, and especially him, he's a top 10 pick, and you're expected to do all this stuff, and then now he sits the first couple weeks, and I mean, regardless, I've been in that situation. Regardless of like how much you can prepare to be a starter, there's nothing that can prepare you instead of getting in the game. There's nothing that can do that. So like, this was really his first start. He's got different feelings, different nerves, different everything rolling with him. And he went in against Seattle, which if Seattle's not the same Seattle. I mean, I looked out there, like it was kind of mind blowing because I looked out there and I'm like, I don't even know who fucking half these people are.
Yep.
Like, you look at their defense from 3 years ago, and 10 of 11 or 9 of 11 aren't even on the field. I'm like, where did this team go? But
Russell Wilson's contract. Russell Wilson's contract is where they went, by the way. That's what Richard Sherman got married this past offseason. I guess it was just a hate Russell Wilson fest.
I mean, it makes sense because I tell people that all the time. People are like, man, why do the LA Rams have all this money? It's because Jared Goff hasn't had a second contract yet. That's why. They can afford the Brandon Cooks, the Todd Gurley's, the Aaron Donalds, the Sues, all these people. In 2 years, when they up Goff, they're gonna fall to shit.
Hold on, AQ. I'm on. By the way, somebody on ESPN took my thing and ran with it, by the way. I am openly on the record stating that this is another recipe for a successful NFL team in the future. And this whole CPA raising the salary cap might end up coming back and killing the quarterback market. It might end. Only the elites will survive. They'll build up a team around a young gun who's accurate. You have to have an offensive mind like McVay there, obviously. You have to have a good offensive mind. But I think they could bring... Now, granted, Jared Goff, very good quarterback. Let's not knock him at all. But there is a slew of guys who can throw footballs very accurately that don't have jobs in the NFL. And if you build an expensive, incredible team around him, I think these second contracts for players that are quarterbacks that are above average, I don't think they're average or bad. I think they're above average. I think those things might disappear here in a little bit, AQ. I think it might happen. These super teams might start taking over.
I disagree.
Why?
Disagree completely.
Why is that?
I think the way the league is rolling, I think you're going to start seeing, the way I see it is I think you're going to start seeing 5 guys paid an extraordinary amount of money and everybody else basically making $1 million or less. On
teams? You think every team's going to be like that?
I think every team's going to be like that. I think you're going to pay the shit out of a quarterback. I think that you're going to pay the shit out of a receiver. I think you're going to pay the shit out of a pass rusher, a corner, and an offensive lineman, so probably a left tackle. I think that's it. 5 guys are going to control the whole cap, and then everybody else is going to be on $1 million or less salaries.
What happens if the Rams win the next 2 Super Bowls, though, on Jared Goff's this rookie contract, and everybody wants that juice or wants that recipe? What happens if that happens?
At the end of the day, I mean, it's happened before. It's happened before where Seattle did the same thing with Russell Wilson on a rookie deal, and then they still paid him $100 fucking million.
And look what happened.
So, yeah, I get that, but at the end of the day, that's the way the market's going, the way the quarterback market's going. I mean, in 5 years, 150 million deals are going to be 200 million deals, and it's just going to just keep rising like that. That's just the way. That's the way the league's rolling. It's
like I said, like your plan, you need a GM with a lot of balls to be able to do that.
You're actually talking about logic in the NFL. That's the funniest thing.
Let's talk about logic. It seems as if the rules, AQ, are now. Granted, you're in rehab. You are rehabbing your knee right now. You rehab every day. I assume you're on your way to rehab right now at the Arizona Cardinals facility. I hope your rehab's going great. We all pull for your health of your knee for you to come back strong next year. Rosen's second year, just for future reference, just so we get that on record.
Thanks.
No problem. Earl Thomas, Lev Bell, both kind of held out. Then the world made them feel bad. Earl Thomas thought he was going to go to a Cowboy. Pete Carroll refuses to get rid of him. They don't pay him. He breaks his leg in your game. Le'Veon Bell sits out. He's doing very interesting things. He's at strip clubs during training camp, videos of that. He's releasing albums, having album release parties, basically telling all of Pittsburgh, you'll fuck himself. That's neither here nor there, but he wants more money. With watching Earl Thomas's reaction to Seattle, do you think player holdouts are going to happen at a much higher rate these days?
It should. At the end of the day, I mean, if you're a top level talent, Earl Thomas is, in my opinion, I've gone against him 10 times in the last 5 years. I mean, the guy is he's the present day best safety in the NFL. When you're watching film and you see him start on one side, he does the same shit Troy Polamalu does, except at a higher level. To be honest, I mean, he really does. He disguises low and right on the line, and he's over here showing like he's, basically in the box, and he ends up getting back to the deep third, making an interception on the other side of the field. There's nobody in the league that can do that. So for him, he deserves his money. And in this situation, in Lev Bell's situation, all anybody wants, if you're going to sit there and risk everything by going out, because at the end of the day, it's not if you're going to get injured, it's when you get injured in this league. I used to be like, it's bullshit, because I felt invincible for 9 years. And then I've had 3 surgeries in the last 18 months. So it's like, you're inevitably going to get hurt at some point. So in their case, all they want is that security. Like in Earl's case, he wanted that security to finish out his career. He wanted another 3-year deal, and he wanted them to invest in him. So if they weren't going to invest in him, fuck them. You're not going to invest in me. I'm going to invest in myself and just not show up to work, not show up to practice, hold out, do all these things. But every fan, they don't get that, because all they care about is, fantasy's kind of ruined it, because it's like, it's my fantasy team. I got the Seattle defense, or
Steelers.
I'm a fan of the Seahawks and this, that, and the other, or Lev Bell, and now, God, I drafted him 2nd overall in fantasy, and shit, now my team went to shit. It's like, bro, the contract the Steelers offered him was a 5-year deal with basically a 1.5-year guarantee. Like, that's horseshit. And nobody understands the business side of things. They just see, the top number, and the top number that agents or teams leak to spew to make themselves look good. Oh, we offered him $70 million, $70 million with 18 or 20 guarantee. Go fuck yourself. Like, that's a shitty contract.
Because as a running back, because you're going to get the rock a lot, that Earl Thomas injury is very possible, especially if you view yourself as once in a generational player like Lev Bell and his people do. That is a bad contract. I didn't know that, by the way. You just broke news.
Yeah, it came out in that interview today.
Yeah, it's a horrible contract. And at the end of the day, it's like, all these guys want is just to feel rewarded and to feel some security to go out and lay their body on the line, because this, and especially in Lev's case, he's in the prime of his career. These next couple years, that is where he needs to make his money. I mean, I'm obviously not the level of celebrity status or player status that those guys are, but I dealt with that same situation this year, where it was like, I wanted my contract going into my last year to kind of secure me through me retiring, and I go out and I tear my knee. Luckily, I was lucky enough to have an organization that is
that was awesome of them, by the
classy
way.
enough to extend me.
Yeah.
But I was in the same situation. Like, I tore my knee, and I'm like, shit, like, my season's over. And then when like the real emotions hit, I'm like, fuck, my career might be over now, because they didn't fucking reward me before the season. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. And then they do, by the way, which was one of the coolest things I've ever seen an NFL team do. Because when NFL teams do like hard business, like shrewd business moves, the crowd's reaction, the people's reaction is like, yeah, it's good business. It's good business. And a lot of people are saying this. I'm not the first person to say this, but anytime a player does something business-wise, they're like, asshole, right? And I never understood, and I think it's because the teams don't leave the cities while players do come and go. I think that's it. But whenever you're comparing yourself to an athlete, why don't you ever compare yourself to the owner? Why don't you ever compare? Because the athlete probably is much more similar to you than the owner is. That owner's been a billionaire its whole life. And now, granted, the team is always there, so the public perception is to take the side of the team because they're always been there. And the players are always just spoiled millionaires. But most of those players probably come from situations very similar to you. And they're just trying to do their best decision there. And it's always kind of hated upon. And I think that narrative might be slowly changing, though, as the world changes and becomes a more woke place. I think that narrative might start to change a bit. But this Lev Bell situation in Pittsburgh, since the Steelers have done so bad, I think that is the only reason why the narrative's changing. But I thought he was going to get booed out of there even whenever he came back as a Steeler.
He still might. Yinzer's
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, to that fan and to those fans that are constantly taking the side of ownership, I tell that fan, I ask that fan to be a fly on the wall and show up to an NFL facility on September the 1st on that Friday after the last preseason game and watch the cutthroat side of the business when guys are going out and running a conditioning test. 90 guys are going out and running, or not a conditioning test, a little conditioning workout, just so some little Grim Reaper looking slapdick who's never played the game in his life with a fucking pair of glasses can walk out there and just start tapping guys on the shoulder. Hey, coach needs to see you. Grab your playbook. Hey, coach needs. It's the only fucking business in the world that hires 90 to fire 50, basically. So, to those people, think about that for a second.
How many times have you been cut?
I've been cut 6. I've been involved in like 13 transactions, though.
The cut 6.
Whether it be
when you get cut,
resign.
Hold on. I've never been cut. I've been fined. I've got into verbal disputes with the boss. I've done a lot of that. I've never been cut. Is that like a breakup? Like how is it handled normally? And is it like, hey, it's not you, it's me? Is that kind of the way it goes? Like, how does it go? Is it business? Because we watch it on Hard Knocks, but they only show a couple of them. They don't show all of them. Because you're a good player. You've been in a lot of places, so I'm sure there's some relationship stuff. What is the cutting situation like? Is it like a breakup?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of look at it that way. I've been fortunate enough where I've played I've played for good organizations. So the good thing about a good organization is they do things the right way. They handle things the right way, which then allow you to handle things the right way. I feel like if I got like disrespected and like the way I was cut, if I just got a call from like a third level scout and didn't get to talk to somebody, like I feel like I'd probably fly off the handlebars. As you know, I have a pretty solid temper. Solid.
Just solid temper.
And I don't think I'd be able to handle it if it was done in like a shitty situation. But I've been fortunate where I've been in situations where at least when they do it, you talk to the GM, you talk to the head coach, you talk to your position coach, and they all say the right things at the end of the day. And, I think fortunately for me, I've been able to handle myself in that situation and grow as a person there, which has allowed me other opportunities because I've been cut by teams and then, brought into other teams and had same coaches who I've been cut from before. So basically,
because you don't know when you're going to see somebody down the road.
You never know. And I talked to Phil Dawson a couple times, and it's like, basically when he played for San Fran, he said like if he would have like been an asshole in some way, shape, or form when he left Cleveland at some point, then years later when he's in San Francisco and 3 of his coaches off that Cleveland team are now coaching in San Fran, it's like now you're in an awkward situation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. I could see that.
So,
I believe heavily in the burn the bridge behind you so you have nowhere to retreat mindset, but I can understand how that's probably not a good idea.
if I would have done that along the way, there's no chance I'd have a career.
Well, that's because you're a gentleman, AQ. How's fatherhood?
Fatherhood's great. Baby's getting big. She's getting old. She's getting a nice little personality. She looks more like me, so
nightmare.
It definitely means it came from me. That's all.
All right, AQ. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, always a pleasure, guys.
Did you see the Browns Raiders game where Walt fucking moved the spot on that third down? Did you hear about this?
I saw it, yeah. And then you know that I watched a couple of the equipment guys. We were watching your commentary about the McCrane guy. McCrane was on our team in the preseason.
How was he?
Did you hear this? Did you hear this story?
No.
So Matt McCrane comes in as a undrafted free agent, and he comes in, and we got Phil Dawson, who's 42-year-old kicker, kind of a legend in the kicking game in this league, right?
Yep, not kind of, definitely.
Yep, definitely. And
for the brand, buy the shirt.
They asked him a question in OTAs, and Matt McCrane's like, "Well, I feel like this is my best opportunity because Phil's getting old, and I just don't know if he's got it anymore."
I didn't know that.
So the next 3 months,
he says, I don't think he's got. Hold on, he says, I don't think he's got it anymore about Phil Dawson.
Oh, yeah. The next 3 months between Phil Dawson and Matt McCrane was maybe the most iconic moments I've ever seen in my NFL career.
See, because on the broadcast they were saying that
He learned from
he
Phil
learned
Dawson.
from Phil Dawson.
Of course, that's what they said.
Oh my God! So I'm happy I took a shot at the guy. Then I'm very happy I did that.
Yeah, good move.
So
Good
that
move.
that got a nice little pop in the equipment room over there in Arizona.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, everybody loves. I mean, everybody loves watching your Sunday commentaries. Every single person.
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I've always said my biggest thing is I want people in the locker room that involves equipment managers and athletic trainers as well to enjoy me. If anybody, I often search for retired players that I'm either going to go interview with or talk to, and I just search on Twitter. Anybody ever call them a real one? That's all I look for, because for me that meant the world to me. So I appreciate you guys watching my shit over there, Alan Quay.
Those are always my best friends. And I mean, for the most part, I mean, like you've been in NFL locker rooms, players come and go, like you said. And
Yep.
to be honest, I don't really like a lot of people, so I end up finding myself becoming more closer friends with the equipment guys and the training room guys. You know, just because people just they don't see the same way I see things a lot of times. Then I'm just like, fuck them, they're dead. I'm just gonna go make fun of them in the training room.
Alan, you're an absolute idiot. Tell everybody I said hello. Good luck with the rehab.
Hey, can we say one more thing? Circling it back to Penn State. I don't know if you guys saw this video. If you haven't, go take a look at it. Did you see the State College police sent helicopters over top of the tailgates?
No.
And it got too close to the ground. It got too close to the ground that the
They were like
grills
30 feet in
and
the air.
tents went flying.
It was insane.
That's awesome.
You saw this, right?
Yeah, I saw it. We actually just posted on the Instagram. It's nuts.
Heartland Radio 2.0.
Yeah, there's a helicopter flying literally 30 feet above the air above the tailgate because they didn't know how to break it up any other way. But like that's definitely
It's unbelievable.
illegal, right?
Yeah,
Cornhole boards are flying. I'm watching the video right now. Cornhole boards are flying. They caused a tornado. They're causing a
They
tornado.
caused a tornado.
It's a man-made tornado from the state police. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny because at the Indy 500, they tell you can't walk in like a mile radius of the helicopter that leaves.
Oh yeah, we got stopped like a mile, and they're like, well, think about who was it, a chief, sergeant, something like that. They're like these fucking.
Got to be fired, right? I mean, him and the offensive coordinator got to be fired.
Like they don't have enough problems. You know, people don't hate us enough. How about we just get real low and ruin everybody's tailgate?
Alan, why don't you send some football IQ back to Penn State and keep it moving, brother? We appreciate you.
Hey, always a pleasure. See you guys.
See ya. Oh, what a guy there.
He's the best.
He is the best, man.
I love him.
He's the absolute best. That's 10 years, though, in the NFL. And not being a superstar, that's 10 years of, like, grinding it out. Every single cut day, just sweating. Like, could this be the time I have to move my family to another city? He's the man. He's a hilarious humor.
It's funny to think about the guy who walks up to AQ like, get out of here.
Did you hear him describe it, by the way? That was a pretty accurate. He was describing one particular human in his career that came up to him that he thought, this fucking guy, because that guy's going to have a job with the team that he's getting fired from, and AQ's not. Just in AQ, you know what I mean? It's a wild scene.
Yeah, and it came out that Lev said they offered him $17 million guaranteed, and he said no because Gurley and David Johnson both just got $30 million guaranteed.
Well, and he's about to get 14.5 guaranteed if he signs a franchise tag. So why would you lock in for 5 years if it's only going to make you $2.5 million after taxes, $1.3 million? That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. And this is all about who you know, by the way. This is all about who you know. The narrative from the Steelers was that we offered them this amount of money. They hit it. All of their media members, bang, bang, boom, put this out, spin the narrative. Now everybody hates Lev Bell. Yinzer, $70 million. I understand you got to eat, but come on, Lev.
That guaranteed number was not new information, though. That was known back then.
Was it?
Yeah, that's been out there for
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either.
It was a very low guaranteed number. That's what pissed him off.
Well, I knew that. I knew
the
there
concerning
wasn't enough
thing
but I
was-
didn't know the actual number.
$17 million.
Yeah,
That's
the
a
concerning
load.
thing was why couldn't they come to an agreement where it was like, okay, maybe we lower the per year and save some of the cap, but increase the guaranteed money.
See, he wanted 17 per year.
Yes.
And they offered him 17 guaranteed for 5 years?
Well, they heard 17. And
To the best
there
running
you go.
back.
Colbert's listening to him rap in his front yard.
17, that's
17. Listen, is this you rapping? Is this you? Dika Ansari or whatever his goddamn agent's name is, friend of the show. This is what he said.
To the best running back in the league. How do you do that?
That's hysterical. Diggs, I'm loving that you're all the way back in. Diggs, here's something for you.
What's up, buddy?
Have you ever looked at a photo of yourself from 5 years ago and thought, damn, I looked young back then?
Every day.
Throwback Thursday's a day, huh? What happened to that guy? Where did all these wrinkles come from?
So much.
When did I start looking like my dad? Yuck, Bailey. Some things get better with age. Wine, for example, or a nice single malt scotch. Aaron Rodgers loves those, by the way. He's all the way back, that guy.
He's talked about a lot.
Unbelievable. Unfortunately, this is not the case when it comes to your skin and especially your face. Most guys don't do nearly enough for their skin despite all it does for them. Soap and water are just not enough to prevent aging, but there is something you can do in the fight against aging, and it's staring you in the face. Forhims.com, a one-stop shop for skincare, hair loss, and sexual wellness, all for men. Hims Anti-Aging Kit is a custom prescription cream tailored to your skin that can keep your skin looking youthfully smooth by reducing the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines. This secret's not a secret. It's tretinoin.
Oh, yeah.
It's tretinoin.
Oh, yeah.
The secret's not a secret. It's tretinoin, and its results are backed by science. Ever heard of it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Can renew and restore skin by increasing collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm. It takes seconds to apply, and it's the same treatment celebrities use to help keep their faces looking young. I always thought it was like blood.
Good glow.
I always thought they like siphoned children's blood.
Have
out
a
there.
blood boy.
That's what I heard.
Some do.
Try to know.
But no, it's tretinoin.
Yeah.
Huh. It's your skin. Do you want to be a face in the crowd? Or do you want to be the face in the crowd?
Ew.
Think about your face.
Think about it.
Think about yourself. Think about knowing what to do. Order now and save $20 off your first month of the Hims Anti-Aging Kit. Lock in those looks now and get your first month of anti-aging for $20 off. Go to forhims.com/PatSC. That's forhims.com/PatSC. Forhims.com/PatSC.
Oh, a little skincare.
Oh, Dixie with
I thought
the
it was supercharged.
OTT thing earlier, too, by the way. Hashtag Endgang, hashtag Endgame. Send us a photo of
Your reaction when you heard everything that you could possibly win on top of watching the greatest comedic sports documentary of all time.
Yep. Also use hashtag PMPBP. Hashtag PMPBP. Pat McAfee, pro baseball player.
Nice.
Hashtag Endgang. Hashtag Endgame. Hashtag PMPBP. And we'll add in another $500 Visa gift card for your best
okay.
reaction. Maybe make it a video of yourself, by the way, something like that. And you have until October 7th to enter that onto the Twitter. Hashtag Endgang, hashtag Endgame, hashtag PMPBP. And have it be your reaction to the incredible raffle that you can enter by pre-ordering and ordering Pat McAfee, professional baseball player, October 7th, release date October 10th on PatMcAfeeShow.com. From all of us to all of you, thank you so much for listening. You're the best. Ty Schmidt.